Hello world, welcome back to the Wanderers Guild. We are here for session 25 of the Forbidden Lands, The Hanging Stones. Our party has just arrived in the dwarven city of Stonegarden. I shouldn't say arrived in. They are standing at the base of a mountain looking at what appears to be a giant dwarf city at the top of a very, 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 very tall hill that's going to absolutely crush everybody's spirits. And yeah, we're going to do quick audio tests. Serious campaign. We're not here to have fun. We're here to be sad and to run out of food and drink. That is why we play Forbidden Lands. Chat's working? Okay, cool. We should be good.
Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to turn to Grunrock and I say, I'll get to the top before you, and I want to try to kick him on his butt.
Okay. Make a melee roll. Grunrock, you want to make a dodge roll and try to stay on your feet?
Yeah, I do.
Time to open up the old character sheet.
The old character sheet.
Help, I'm slow. It's just move, right?
You missed.
Okay, so I turned on 3
Yeah,
dice
it's
on roll 20.
At a -2.
And I did that roll, it threw about 30 dice on my screen.
It's move at a -2 if you want to stay on your feet, so we'll remove the last 2 dice. But it looks like you got it either way. Yeah, Ralgar tries to push you, and you jump out of the way, and you just matador out of the way, and he goes running past you.
No! I'm going to catch you! You can't beat me up those stairs! I'm
Guys, let's think about this.
And they're
We
gone.
maybe don't need a goblin and a wolfkin. How long do you think we'll make it in this town, Brigello?
Look, as long as we don't...
Beard gobs!
do
Oh,
anything
Lord.
like that,
Watch out above you!
we should be fine. Look, you're faster than me.
Hopefully
Just
we
go
can
after
just
him.
sell some stuff. Yeah.
I realized you can't control your tokens because they're on the map layer, so I'm moving them. Boop. There we go. And roll 20 is being a little bit slow. Alright. Yeah, Lynn and Dahlia are walking side by side, and they are... Lynn is just looking up the hill in disbelief. And she's like, I'm not doing it. That is too far. Dahlia's like... Dahlia's like...
taking it back with Lynn and Dahlia. Like, I'm not sprinting up there, so...
Dahlia's like, Lynn, just think, you'll get to rest your feet, you'll be in a city. Dwarves are pretty nice, I've known quite a few, and we can all kick back, have a juice? I bet they have milk. Do you think they have milk up there?
They
Lynn
probably
just-
have a dwarven equivalent.
Lynn just rolls her eyes and starts marching somberly, and she's grunting the entire way up the hill. Lynn is going, still walking. Yeah, this hill is brutal, and your calves are going to be absolutely burning by the time you make your way up through here.
You don't know what I do on leg day.
We've been walking in the woods for like a week. That's what we've been doing on leg day.
Yeah, and this is another level. This is super steep,
This
and
is leg day level 2.
yeah.
Can I try to grab Grunrock's ankle? Or is he too far ahead of me?
He dodged you. Did you take off running, or did you just sort of roll your eyes and go?
Yeah, I'm on all fours chasing him.
I'm asking if Grunrock took off running.
Yes,
you're in this race? Okay.
And then tried
Yeah.
to push me, and I took off.
All right, make move rolls against each other.
Oh my goodness.
Any minuses?
No, this is just a straight move roll to race up the hill. You're gonna be so friggin' exhausted. Grunrock gets 1 success. Ralgar gets 1 success. You're neck and neck, but Grunrock had a head start because you missed him on the grab. So the two of them are up ahead, and now they are way ahead of the rest of the party, halfway up the mountain, and they're neck and neck because they got the same move roll, but now they both have to make endurance rolls. Because this is not a move roll kind of race. This is an endurance roll kind of race.
Any modifiers?
No. One success each. They are both huffing and puffing and way ahead of the rest of the party, who are biding their time and taking it slow. So everybody else, Dahlia, Lynn, Virgillo, and Velas, you are traveling in a pack way low down here on the mountain, slowly trucking your way up.
I'm just like barking furiously at this point. I'm having the best time.
Maybe you Discord so it's not pinging at me in the background on the stream. All right.
I have a question, boss.
Yeah.
Would my dark secret play into this at all?
Yeah, potentially. We'll get to that. Yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. So, give me one sec. All right. You are ascending the mountain to Stonegarden, which you know to be some city of significance to the Canide clan, also known as the Ironhound Dwarves. What you've heard about them is that they are fierce warriors, and they're sort of the warrior clan of the dwarf kingdoms. There's 3 or 4 different dwarf kingdoms. You don't know a ton of details about all the different ones, but there's like the minor clan, and there's like the noble clan. The Canine dwarves are like the warrior clan. So you're going into a major city of militaristic dwarves, and as you, Grunrock and Ralgar, you are out of breath, huffing and puffing, but still keeping pace with each other. And your endurance rolls still only get you 2/3 of the way up this mountain, and then you should each make one more endurance roll to see if one of you taps out before you get to the top.
Why not?
But along the way, on little did you both get 1 again?
You
did.
will not beat me that easily, you little. This is so much fun.
So here's what's happening. Both of you are out of breath, calves burning, sore, tired, getting cold from the just howling wind blowing across this narrow mountain road, and you keep like pushing on each other for leverage. And there's a bunch of dwarves in black armor, and they have big black battle axes and like dark colored steel plate armor, and they're staring at you with some amusement from over the edge of the walls up ahead. You're almost to the finish line, which would be this little gate into the entrance to the city. The dwarves are chuckling, and there's a little group of them, of the guards, gathering around to watch your race now, while you're scrabbling past each other. And if either of you chooses to push the roll for no willpower gain but potential damage, you can win the race. Who wants it more?
I want it more.
Are you gonna go for it? That's a double success. Ralgar, you are about to collapse at the gates, looking forward to stopping. Grunrock, the same. And Grunrock, Ralgar starts to sprint for the gate a little before you're willing to. And then you're like, oh, I gotta keep up. But he's gone, and he powers through the gate, and you collapse panting right at the gate, a few steps behind him. And you come stumbling through after him.
I knew I could beat you with your little legs. I can't believe you almost beat me. You're way faster than you look.
Some of the dwarf guards are just.
I catch him.
Stupid four-legged cheater.
I want to look up and kind of look around at all of the guards and just say, wait, where are all of the hounds? You all don't look like hounds.
Their black helmets resemble like hound-shaped, like wolf helmets.
That's amazing.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I want to take off my Terramunda helmet and go, I want one of those. Can we trade?
They look at each other, and one of them just shakes his head, and he's like, "No, you gotta earn this. These are crafted by the masters, smiths of the deep." And one of them just cuts him off and says, "They don't know anything. They're foreigners. It's a very nice helmet. You can't have it."
My hat's better.
Meanwhile, halfway down the mountain, Lynn is complaining the whole time. She's like, still walking, feet hurt, still walking, feet hurt, still walking, feet hurt, the whole way up the mountain.
How heavy is Lynn?
Yeah, how heavy is she?
Any of you could carry her, but you'd have to make an endurance roll to get up the mountain, even,
Lynn, get on my back.
What if we have the pack rat skill? Does that not
yeah, what does that do? Increase your carrying capacity by a lot?
increases it? Yeah, I have right now I have rank 2, so it's increased by +5. I'm only at 9 out of 11 of my carrying capacity.
You can carry her. You can carry her because you're used to it. You're still gonna have to pace yourself, but yeah, you can get up without an endurance roll if you carry her because of pack rat.
Come on, Lynn, hop on my shoulders.
Really?
Shoulders.
Well, I'm only used to carrying things like backpacks, so I'm assuming, if this is all leg and back strength, just climb on my shoulders.
All right. She climbs up piggyback. It sits on top of your already big backpack with your musical instruments and all the other junk. It's like clattering and banging while she gets positioned, and you nearly tip over and fall down the mountain at one point. And then she's in position.
Still.
And even with pack rat, she's like maxing you out. So you're walking up the hill now like, oh god.
Dahlia, thanks for being so cool and just walking.
Meanwhile,
You know.
Dahlia is getting on Sir Archibald, the donkey.
Dahlia is marching along with her head down, going, beer at the top, beer at the top, beer at the top. Haven't had beer since the Hollows. Beer at the top.
How old are Dahlia and Lynn?
Lynn is, I think, 11 or 12, and Dahlia is in her 20s.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Dahlia was so young. I think I thought Dahlia was like 17.
She was a housemaid for Mrs. Palmore,
yeah.
and
I knew she was an
she's a
adult.
grown up. She's not. She's young, but she's not.
Beer at the top.
She's not a kid.
The top.
What's up, Elric? Welcome to the party. By the way, Elric, we got a public Discord. You should come say hi to everybody. We would like to chat if you use Discord and want to.
And if you don't download Discord and then start using it.
Yeah! You're always watching our sessions live. You gotta come hang out and chat with us. Consider yourself invited. It's in the About description.
And personally invited at that.
That is
So, Grunralk and Ralgar, you're up here on the top platform. Oh, I realize people on stream can't see any of this nonsense. I'm a terrible DM. Boop. For reasons that have nothing to
Don't
do
be
with forgetting to
absurd.
update the map.
You're not a terrible DM.
Oh, I'm a terrible GM, sorry.
That's it's not the same.
Uh-huh. Alright, so you are greeted at the top of the hill by a bunch of black armored dwarves with these hound helmets and battle axes and shields, and you would not want to get in a fight with these guys. They are like walking just blocks. They are so bulky and encased. very different style from what you're used to coming from elven lands in the woods, where at most people wear like leather armor or whatever. Even the guards at the Hollows and in Amber's Peak were mostly wearing lighter armor than this, or chainmail at most. But yeah, these guys are like encased in full plate armor, all of it kind of a black colored steel with these hound helmets, and you are as you make it to the top, Grenralk and Ralgar have had a chance to recover their breath, but they are gonna be real sore tomorrow from charging all the way up that hill, and I will enforce it.
So who won the race?
Considering I took damage, of course I'll be sore tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think I cheated. I think we tied. I should have only gotten one success there, because when I was pushing, I should have taken one success away and rolled 2 dice. I still
you
have no
got rolling.
failures.
You should have only gotten 1 success
Yeah, still no failures, but yeah.
and rolled 1 die. Let me look.
He rolled 2 total successes. I rolled 2 successes and 2 failures. So if you want to rule it, he pulled ahead. Makes sense to me.
Okay. We're still saying Ralgar made it. He was running on all 4s. That was his secret advantage. Anyway, so a dwarf is descending down the center of this massive stone staircase. Behind it is just this master-crafted, beautiful facade on the side of the mountain with a great icon of like one of those hound helms pointed downward with an axe over a shield underneath it, carved into the dark stone of the mountain. There are cranes on the side of the mountain. There's just fine stonework, everything down to the parapets, the staircases, the towers. Nothing is just flat carved stone. It's all chiseled into the mountain, but it's all chiseled into the mountain artfully and with decoration. It is beautiful, and just looking at this staircase alone, you're like, I can't imagine how long this would have taken for an army of craftsmen to do. And so you're staring up these great gates. There is a dwarf descending down the staircase looking at you. This is an older dwarf with a big gray beard and hanging down to mid-chest, braided all through. And rather than wearing armor, like the others, this one is wearing black gilded robes. That go all the way down to ground level, dressed as some sort of noble or dignitary of some sort. And he's stroking his beard while walking down the staircase, and arrives at the bottom and approaches your little circle and says, "Greetings! I am Lodak of the Canides. To whom do I owe the pleasure of this meeting?"
Greetings, Lodak. I'm Bergello.
Fake names! Fake names! Sorry, I'm out of breath. That was a long run.
Well, my name is Bergello. We're passing in to sell some things and hopefully relax, ideally after that long trek up the mountain, but honestly just after a long trek through the woods as well.
You're not here from for the festival.
Well, I absolutely am now. I wasn't aware there was a festival going on.
It's the week of the veneration of the earth. You've come on the 1 week of the year that we celebrate this beautiful gift given us by Huge himself. There are many foreign dignitaries arriving. We thought perhaps you were representatives of one of the elven cities looking to deal or to speak with the leaders of the clans who are assembling. You're not? You're just travelers wandering in, huh?
We are just travelers wandering in.
Boy, did you pick a time to show up. It's an honor to meet you, and you're going to have a wonderful time. At the top of those stairs, you're going to enter into Stonegarden. May I ask where you hail from?
Sort of all over the place. I believe our last destination was somewhere in the middle of the Dankwood for the last month, I believe. So
Northerners, I see. All right. Well, welcome. And I know you've not been here before because I would remember you. And then he turns and looks at Velas for a second and says, unless it was before my time. Velas, you've never been here.
I was gonna say, I don't think I have.
But he recognizes your races and he thinks about it for a second. He's like, unlikely you would have forged your way through the blood mist, but no, of course. You've arrived on a holy week in our great holy city, so please make yourselves at home. I suggest before you walk through those gates, you take a deep breath because it takes many people by surprise, and while we do have healers in the city, we would rather not you faint and hit your head.
Is it like really smelly?
Pardon?
she
You
means
said to take a
aromatic.
deep breath.
Yeah, like thick with cigar smoke or delicious food. You said there's a festival, so we just assume there's.
Or like,
I'm not talking about some foul stench. I'm talking about the most beautiful... Go see for yourselves.
I'm looking at these very finely crafted armor.
Guys,
Most
I smell the most wonderful smell in the world. Oh, I wish you all could borrow my nose. Let's go in. Let's go in. Oh, let's go in. Can we go in? Let's go in.
You smell... you smell the forges. You smell beer. You smell smelly dwarves. And you smell the snowy breeze
smells
across the top of the
bad.
mountain.
so it smells bad.
No.
Oh, and you probably smell some traces of all sorts of strange smells from foreign lands, like spices and cloths and things like that. You can smell a marketplace nearby.
Well, let's go in and find a marketplace.
How tall
Alright.
is this probably very important man in comparison to me?
The dwarves? We'll call him an average height dwarf, which, I don't know. Let's find out.
Taller.
Probably taller than you. A little bit, but barely. And way heavier.
I look at Grunrock just like an eye that clearly says, "Don't be racist."
I'm just gonna stick my hand out, kind of upwards towards him, so he'll shake my hand. And then when he grabs my hand, I'm gonna like stare deeply into his eyes and say,
I don't think she meant any offense. I think she's just worried about the forge fires. But, good luck!
and I'll just shake his hand a little harder and then walk past him towards the stairs.
Your accent is strange. Where do you hail from, Goblin?
The south. Far to the south.
I see. He leans down to you while you're walking past him. Down to you. You're almost eye level. He's like maybe an inch taller than you. But he leans to you while you're walking by. And he says, "Enjoy your stay in the city." And then he leans very close. He says, "Watch yourself, Green One. We won't tolerate any misfits around here." And then he pats you on the back a little too hard.
As I like stumble from the last pat, I'll look back and say,
There haven't been any misfits in the shroud in ages.
and I'll just grin real big at him.
That's not what I hear. And he looks directly down at that orcish scimitar that you're carrying with you and shakes his head.
Well, come on, gang of misfits, let's go inside.
All right, so you make your way up to the top of the mountain, and as soon as you, you're gonna walk through. I'm gonna describe this, but not here. One sec. Sirenscape.
Not using words, using dance.
Do it.
All right. No. I was saying I'm not going to reveal. The illustration actually doesn't show a lot of this, so I'm just going to describe first, and then I'll gradually start unveiling bits of map as we go. But you make your way through these great stone gates with this huge dwarven iconography and these big stone columns and this unfathomable craftsmanship. You walk in, and you are entering into a cave that is lit by magical sconces set high on the walls that are all lit with flames of different colors. And it is a vast cave, and you're basically stepping into a forest in a cave where instead of trees and brush, there is a narrow winding path that is raised up, and below it and in the distance in every direction are gemstone structures that resemble plants. So you have trees and flowers and branches and vines and things, but they're all made from stone of different colors. And the flowers at the end of the branches and the fruits on the trees are these massive crystals of all different colors. And you are looking into just this vast, like, botanical garden, but entirely made out of crystals and stones of different colors. And there's like long hanging vines that look like impossible structures, but they're made of like jade colored stone. And it is vast. And the different colored lights from all of these magical flames are just glistening off of these gardens. There are branching paths leading through the garden so that you can meander and look about, and it's laid out like a botanical garden. It's got branching paths that remerge and go all through the caves. It is massive, and the vaulted ceilings up high are domed, and they are carved with all of the same types of intricate carvings that are all over the staircases and the parapets outside. This whole hall is a work of craftsmanship like unfathomable to you. You not only have never seen anything like it, but you've never imagined that anything like it could exist. And there are dwarves milling about. Many of them are finely dressed like the dignitary who greeted you on the stairs, but wearing robes of different colors. There are also patrolling guards occasionally, and some just standing guard in the gardens watching. You see at one point what appears to be a foreign dignitary who is a dwarf wearing like blue robes lean down to touch one of the crystals, and he's like, ah! And the guard steps over and makes a gesture at him, and the guy backs up and doesn't touch it. It is breathtaking. You can also see, just in terms of layout, on the far end of the gardens, you can see a huge arched doorway leading to a... There's a path leading downwards, and then there's a huge arched doorway leading deeper downwards down a big staircase. It's clear that past these giant gardens, if you were to double back down all the way to the bottom of them, there's a huge arched doorway leading deeper down into the mountain, down a huge white marble staircase.
This place makes me feel uncomfortable.
I think it looks
This
nice.
place really is great. Yeah. This is maybe the nicest place we've ever been.
Dahlia is awestruck. Lynn goes, wow!
I'm afraid me being here could get pretty expensive.
Then maybe our first step should be the marketplace and sell what we do have. That way, if we have to leave in a rush for whatever reason, we won't be doing it with all of the loot we've gathered since we've started traveling.
There's guards nearby if you want to ask
trees.
directions.
Yeah, I'll flag someone down just for directions to a marketplace.
Okay.
I'm holding
What'd you
my
say,
tail,
Grandma?
my hands in front of me.
I asked, could I lick one of those trees?
And I'll point at the big rock.
I
Just the
would
tree
recommend it. I'm pretty sure they're trying to stop anyone and everyone from touching those things. Let's at least spend like 2, even 3 days on our absolute best behavior before we try to do anything not on our best behavior.
There's also benches along the way to rest your weary legs, and the place is crowded. You don't see a single non-dwarf individual in the whole place, though. Though even at a passive glance, you can tell there's dwarves here from multiple different lands. So, Vergello, you asked one of the guards for directions? Is that...
Yes, and the guy said that there were foreign dignitaries.
Mm-hmm.
So that includes like other dwarven clans along with
presumably. He seemed to think you were foreign dignitaries because of the timing of your arrival and your combination of races, but you are not. And so he basically said there's a festival going on right now. There's a lot of people visiting from other places, and given your arrival time, he assumed maybe you were representatives of some other group that were here to meet with the dwarven leaders because there's some sort of gathering going on. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
A statement. Question first. Do I see any Rust Brothers?
You see no humans at all. And Rust Brothers are mostly humans.
Great. Love to hear it, my guy.
They
I
wear
can
telltale,
see where that-
ochre and red and gray-colored robes, and they carry noisy chains and things. You don't see anyone of that sort here.
Do I see anyone from Mistwall? That's where I'm from.
Yeah, Mistful.
Yeah.
You see no
we've
elves.
only seen dwarves.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't see any elves.
I am keeping an active eye out for anyone that I recognize, and also any elves in general.
Okay. Noted. Ralgar, as you make your way deeper into these caves and you're wandering through the garden, aside from your visual senses just being dazzled by everything around you, you are picking up distinct smells that are getting more interesting. You can smell spices and beasts, like cattle, like nasty cattle stench, and lovely whiffs of spices and strange smells as you work your way deeper. Vergello, you said you wanted to ask a guard for directions. The guard will explain that down that great rampant, through that archway, down those marble stairs, you will come out into the great marketplace. There are places to stay, there are places to eat, there are places to trade. Beneath that are the great catacombs of Stonegarden, and beneath that are the deep places which are forbidden to outsiders.
Okay, so we are allowed to go to the catacombs, but not below that.
You may browse them respectfully, but I warn you that any foul play, and he looks over at Grunralk, is going to be frowned upon.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure we don't wander into any space we're not allowed.
Of
Why
course.
would I act like a chicken?
Thank
All
you
right.
again for the directions. We're going to be going now.
If I had known keeping a goblin around would keep all the interests and eyes off of me, I would be traveling with one of them for a while.
Well, see, they usually do, but you do something that pulls all the eyes back to you.
In the history of this world, the elves and the dwarves lived here and coexisted long before the humans ever showed up. And they're very different, and they have different values and goals and beliefs in general, but they view themselves as kin to an extent because of their shared history in this place before the humans came along and started mucking things up. That may not be the way you view it since you hang out with a bunch of half-elves all the time, but it's how many elves view it and how many dwarves view it.
It's literally just me.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, yeah. Ayan
Yeah.
was also.
Don't say his name.
Who knows what happened to that guy? I'm gonna make him come back at some point.
You better make him come back at some point. I miss my little friend I used to argue with all the time.
All right.
We made Vergello become the voice of reason. Can you imagine how much more fun you would be if Ayan was still here? Just kidding, love you, buddy.
All right. So, does anybody want to do anything before we march deeper into the mountain?
I want to march deeper into the mountain before anything bad happens.
I
'cause
wanna
have
get
a bunch
to
of crap to sell.
Fanciest shop we can find.
I just want to sell stuff. Bring us to the marketplace.
The marketplace.
To the marketplace.
I guess so.
Boom, I already see it. Right there. I'm dead center of the marketplace.
I'm moving all the tokens over.
All
right.
While we're walking to the marketplace, inventory. What do we have that we're selling?
It is a silver candelabra.
And that's all that you're selling from your stash?
And I've got a bumblebee pin, and I have a severed hand. Right? Don't need that. That's for me.
All right. Grunrock, do you have anything?
I got these drawings that we took from that place with the giant, and I have some mushrooms and a sleeping fur. Oh, and I have this, and I lift my hat up and pull out a little baggie, like a coin purse. I have this bag of gold.
The fool's gold?
We found it at the bottom of the river, remember?
Got it. The gold. Okay.
Yeah, the gold.
I'm
But
sure
it's mine.
dwarves won't know the difference.
Yeah. We'll have to find someone else to trade with that isn't a dwarf, I would imagine. Veloz, do you have anything?
Yeah, I've got this mug. Candidly, looks kind of cheap, but you know, it's
The
something to sell.
mug from like 15 sessions ago.
I've got some pretty good boots. They're worth, I don't know, I guess 9 copper. I got this holy bee statue.
I imagine it's like this big.
I'm strong. This isn't a game where I had to pick between strength and agility. I got
imagine
both.
it's not that big. Like, not questioning
Yeah,
your
probably
weakness.
not. I've got a diary from the embalming room that I just have not read. Oh, I've got a jar of honey from that dungeon. Not from the lich, but just a jar of the honey. I got a unit of herbs. Ooh, I've got the small bone serpent wrapped around a monolith. Got a turquoise stone with pink rose signet ring. I have this handkerchief with an insignia. Oh, I've got the short spear with a silver tip and inlay. Oh, you know, I got some stuff.
I honestly don't remember half the stuff that you've looted.
Hey, where did all the crossbows go?
Oh, I have
They're
them.
all on the,
They're all on
Archibald?
Star Archibald. 3 crossbows. And then I have 5 pieces of leather. I have that healing bag. Do we want to sell that healing bag?
I'm 50-50. It's pretty useful.
Just
It's
klepto
also
stuff.
very expensive.
I was thinking about selling it, but then we found all of those crossbows, and those crossbows we can sell instead. Because that healing bag, you're pretty good at using it.
I mean, it gives me +2, but I'm already pretty good with it. Without it, I mean...
Let me
I don't know.
pause your
Yeah, like-
discussion for a second to describe your approach to the marketplace. Broad marble stairs lead down to large cavernous spaces in the mountain where the smells of spices, beasts of burden, food, and embers tickle the senses, among other more odd scents that you can't place. There are many people milling about. There are occasional humans, elves, halflings, mixed in with the dwarves. But it is maybe 90% dwarves. There are deals going on all around you. Some of them involving large quantities of goods, bins, barrels, bales of cloth, moving to and fro while valuables change hands. A wide passage leads to a large set of gates to the west that seem to lead back out into the outside world, and another great staircase leads deeper into the mountain on the far side of the marketplace. This marketplace is like the size of the Hollows all on its own. Continue discussing. I'm gonna AFK a sec. I'm gonna run
I
to the
also
restroom and get
think I
another drink.
have some more wizard jerky. I think I had one more piece in here.
I am out of the jerky. But I do have... Really, I'm just carrying the crossbows. I have that calfskin glove and the healing bag.
I'm not selling the spike. I want to
Spike?
keep it.
Oh yeah, I
from
don't think.
Hot Armor Babe.
Truthfully, I don't think we should sell any of Hot Armor Babe's armor.
Not our armor. I think that we should consider that Warhammer. Because it's not really
yeah, well,
anything
didn't
to use.
didn't
I thought
Ralgar want to? Well, didn't he want to trade the Warhammer for something?
Didn't you want the Warhammer for something, Adam?
He wanted
have
like a mace or something.
I have a great axe that I got from the dwarf. What Warhammer? This just shows my
Hot Armor
memory.
Babes.
I thought she had a sword.
Yeah, it was
did have a sword.
sorry,
It was
great
one
sword.
to trade for a Warhammer.
Yeah, I want one of those dwarven like fancy battle axes, the ones with the runes.
I don't think the sword was worth that much. Like it was just worth the price of a longsword, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was nothing fancy about it, but before I melted that dwarf, he told me there was a legend of like a great battle axe to be found. So for selling, yeah, sell some stuff. Let's sell the sword. I'm not selling her helmet. I love her helmet.
Yeah, I don't want to sell any of our armor. I'd rather bury it in
Yeah,
a
I'd-
plethora of places.
Yeah,
Same.
carry it on my head. Carry it on my
That'll be
head.
the one that we end up keeping.
I'm back.
Alright.
Do you think we should maybe find a stay for the night? That way we could settle in and Dahlia
Let's get our money first. I imagine, given all the foreign dignitaries that are staying here, prices are probably going to be a little bit higher. So,
Yeah. And someone might recognize you. You should have used a fake name.
I can't use a fake name at big cities. If I'm going to get banned from places, I'd rather be the most popular ones. Really
Wow.
build up my reputation.
I swear you're all the same.
All right. There are many inns, many taverns, many breweries, many trading posts of all different varieties. There's places selling foreign goods. There's a handful of traders that are not even dwarves, that are apparently people visiting from elsewhere to sell in the markets. There are many, many, many shops selling metal goods and things either embroidered in the style of the dwarven dignitaries with that kind of black cloth and gilded edges style, and smiths selling things that resemble what the guards are wearing, with a handful of things sized for members of other kin.
Maybe
So-
we look for a place to sell the crossbows. Maybe like an armorer or
Yeah.
a weaponsmith.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can sell off crossbows. Let's see.
I have 3 crossbows. And
Right.
a D12 of ammo for crossbows.
Nice.
You should totally buy more arrows while we're here.
Historically speaking,
Were those light crossbows or heavy crossbows, or do you remember?
light. I have them written down as light.
Okay, and there's 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And a D12 of ammo for crossbows.
Rumor has it that a single crossbow is worth at least 1 gold.
Rumor has it.
Okay, you go to an armorer with all 3 of the light crossbows. He's going to look them over. He says, "These are of dwarven make. Where did you get these?"
We came across a trader while moving through the woods. He was floating on a balloon. We helped him fix his balloon, and we
A
traded
balloon?
stuff. Yeah.
A dwarf floating through the sky?
I truthfully didn't believe it myself when I saw it, but
Strange
in
world we
exchange
live
for helping
in.
him,
Strange world.
strange indeed.
Technically, he wasn't floating when we met him.
He will offer you 5 gold, 4 silver for the entire set of 3 crossbows.
Okay, is that good? A good deal?
That's about a standard deal for selling this type of thing,
Okay.
yeah.
You said 5 gold.
In your
12
estimation. Yeah. That's more money than you've ever held in your hands.
silver? Is that 6 gold and 2 silver?
I
Essentially.
thought he said 5 gold, 4 silver.
I said 5 gold, 4 silver.
Oh, okay. So
You heard 12 and then asked 12, and you went, yeah.
yeah, you said.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I thought you said 4. Sorry. Yeah, 5 gold, 4 silver. That's
Okay.
his offer.
Y'all, for now, I'm just gonna put all the gold in my inventory.
Yeah, I don't know.
and
Toss it all in your inventory.
We'll split it up later. And for the D12 crossbow ammunition, I assume this would work well for you too.
Let me check.
Good, sir. I hate that bolts are next to arrows.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
All right. Do you see a price for arrows?
Yes, arrows are
Arrows.
iron
There we
headed
go.
arrows are 12 copper, wooden are 6.
Okay. Generally, people will pay 3/4 price for things that are of the type of thing they sell. So this is going to be 12 times. Let's see, D6, D8, D10, D12. So that's 4.
Oh,
Oh, Russ.
Oh, Russ.
What is he barking about?
me.
It's
I'm
not
knocking
hanging
on
on
your
this
door.
week.
He'll offer you 4 silver, 8 copper for the pile of crossbow ammunition.
All right.
So you end up with a grand total of 5 gold, 8 silver, 8 copper, right?
Don't do that because I've already written down the stuff. You said 4 silver and 8 copper.
Yeah, 4 silver, 8 copper.
And then I wanna bring out Terramalda's great sword and plonk it on the table. And go, and what do you think about this thing? Bong.
Oh, this is a mighty weapon. What?
Yeah. Say it. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'll be right back. He goes and gets his. He goes and gets a much older dwarf, who's presumably the master of this smithy, who comes out and looks at it for a minute. And then he backs up, he goes across the room and he gets a monocle. He sticks it on. Impossible. And he's sliding it around on the table. Impossible! And slides it back. He's flipping it over. He's looking at the maker's mark at the base of the hilt. How much you want for it?
Well, I do not think there is any price I could attach to this, but let me tell you something. And I pull out the battle axe. I said, I am learning to use this noble weapon, but I fear that this one is the best I'm going to be able to find. Maybe the dwarfs know where I can get a better battle axe. And maybe if I could get one, I'd be willing to let go of this sword.
You're showing him what? You're showing him an axe that you got
It's my
where?
battle axe. And I'm basically complaining that it's a normal battle axe and I want something more special, but I don't
Was
know
that one you started with, or did you get it somewhere? I can't remember where you got it.
He got it from the dwarf.
I got it from Balloon Boy.
He had a battle axe, okay. Yeah.
You know that guy he murdered?
Well, Rogar, while that is great, and I do think that'll be perfect for the negotiations, I assume you're aware of whose sword this was, given your reaction.
Yeah.
Not you,
yeah.
Raugar. I'm talking to the dwarf. I know you.
Well, I would need to verify with outside sources, but this appears to be a sword of holy significance to the Church of Rust. It is master-crafted, it is ancient to be sure, and this maker's mark, if it is to be believed, is one who has not lived for many centuries, since ages predating the Blood Mist. Not to mention
Would it be
this.
helpful to believe that this is the sword of Terramalda if we had something else? I don't know, like, I'm just gonna reach behind Ralgar and pull out the helmet and stick it on his head.
Where did you come across these artifacts?
helmet.
We were attacked in the middle of the night by
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. But this most recent time, a fantastic creature breathing fire through her helmet and the cracks of her armor, and with power of friendship and the might of our good friend Grunrock, we were able to take her down and disassemble her armor and claim it for ourselves.
He looks at the dwarf next to him and says, "Give us a moment." And they go way into the back of the shop, and you can see them conferring.
Remember my battle axe.
Raugar, I think we could probably be able to get you like.
He walks
3
back.
battle axes.
He walks back up and walks back up to the table and says, "All right, let's talk about a transaction." He shoves the battle axe out of the way, and it goes clanging onto the ground like he doesn't even care about it. And he centers the sword perfectly in the middle of the table. We're prepared to offer you 6 crowns. That is a gold piece.
6 crowns is 1 gold piece.
No. Crowns are gold pieces.
A crown is a gold.
It's a nickname for a gold piece.
I'm gonna insight him.
I would
Okay.
also like to insight check this.
I want to
Sure.
see if he's lowballing me.
Sure.
I want gold. I want a magic axe.
I got 1.
You got 1?
Yeah.
His hands are shaking slightly. You think he's real invested in you saying yes to this?
Well, that does sound great, but I think with 6 crowns, we could probably shop around a little bit and see if anyone else has a higher offer. I'm sure you can understand with a fantastic artifact as ancient as this, there might be people who might be willing to put a little more on the table. I'm trying to manipulate as much as I can.
All right. 8. Final offer.
How much would a +1 battle axe cost?
You walk out those doors, you're never getting this offer again.
That is a good question. How much would as my friend puts it, a +1 battle axe?
There are no +1 battle axes in the Forbidden Lands. You can get
Well, that's why I said as my friend said it. But
you can get gear that is listed in the gear chapter, and past that is artifacts that you have to discover, inquire about, seek out.
Sorry, Adam.
All right, Bill.
I think we should inquire as well. If we're gonna sell this, let's try to get some information as well. Surely
Josh,
there are
what-
some legends.
What kind of sword was this again?
This is a 2-handed sword, which would normally fetch a price of 4 gold.
I think we should take it.
I'm good with taking it.
Yeah, I think if we're getting fleeced, then we're still walking out of here with 4 gold.
Vergello, ask him if he knows of any like ancient artifacty battle axes. If you could just tell us where we might find one.
Okay. We're finding 8 gold. On top of that, do you have any interesting tales of magical battle axes for my friend? He seems to want a new toy, and we're just curious of any legends you may have heard. We are treasure hunters, as you can see, with the treasure before you. 8 gold in a story is what I'm asking for.
8 gold in a story. All right, he'll give you 8 gold in a story.
I walk over and pick up my axe. I'm like,
If it'll close this deal, he'll offer a story. And he's a blacksmith working in a major city. He'll have heard tales of something. But you'll have to give me a minute to figure it out. So you all discuss what you want to do next while I figure this out, and I'll be back with you.
should we
I
go
also
find
have
a
stuff to
Jew?
sell.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll end up doing more selling too. We could probably at the same place we sell the statues, sell the healing bag, if it's worth its value. And then I have leather, just like regular old leather. That I mean, I guess leather doesn't go bad. Should I just hold on to the leather just in case?
you made that leather with your bare hands.
Well, I didn't.
And
Veloz did.
the loss helped because she taught herself how to tan in the wild. This leather is priceless. If you sell it, we're fighting.
I don't think it holds that much. No offense, Veloz. I don't think it holds that much emotional value.
No, none taken. I was really just kind of messing around because I was bored.
One piece of leather is worth 12 copper.
Yeah, that's sellable to me.
Yes.
That's about the sentimental worth of it.
Oh, you know what? Like, and the sentimental value was 10 gold, so that's 10 copper. That's 2 gold copper profit.
I want to start looking around and just looking for like a jeweler or something.
Mm-hmm. Here, one sec. Still addressing the last thing.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait to get some of this stuff out of my inventory. Aimee, you said to get arrows. I'm stocked up on arrows.
Oh, are you? That's great.
Yeah, I'm still at a D12. I have a D6 of torches. We probably should get some torches.
I've got a D6 of torches too. If you do want to get a D12 of arrows and you want me to hold it for you, I can. Because I don't have any.
I might. They wait. Well, what's your carrying capacity right now?
Not a ton.
What are you at encumbrance to carry right now?
Carry. I don't think my math is adding up correctly. Carry is 6, encumbrance is 5.
It might be. So in your inventory, anything that's checked and has an N next to it is worth 1. H is 2, and I think it takes 2 maybe L items to equal 1. I don't know. It's
Okay.
a some amount, and then T is weightless.
Sure. Okay, because I lost my cauldron. Remember that? That was sad. That was a
Yeah.
sad day. Pour one out. I lost my staff. Well, I left it behind because I didn't need it. Yeah, I got my studded leather armor. Got the candelabra. That's normal.
Do you still have the sword in your inventory? Or were you carrying it on Sir Archibald?
Sir Archibald had it.
Okay.
Maybe my battle axe.
I imagine the battle axe is at minimum.
All right. He'll do the transaction. He'll say, I've heard a legend of a magical battle axe, but it's been many years.
I'm wagging my tail. Tell me.
Have you heard the tale of Dohump's chopper?
Oh, I so very want to hear the tale of Sir Dohump's chopper.
Well, Dohump was an executioner who lived in the great human city of Alderstone far to the southwest. He not only was the most trusted executioner of the crown, but he delighted in taking the heads of his victims, feeling a sense of righteous justice every time he chopped the head of one of those unforgivable souls.
Did he keep them? Did he keep the heads?
Sure. Now, the axe has been missing for many years because they say that it took so many lives that a demon took interest in it and began to possess the axe in order to drink the suffering of those it beheaded. And they say that one night it became so thirsty for the neck of a sadistic soul that it took the head of Dohump himself while he slept.
No!
Yes, indeed. And wishing to rid themselves of it, the people cast it into a river somewhere in the Fuelin Mark, and it's not been seen since.
They just threw a perfectly good axe in a river?
Oh, a demon-possessed beheading axe, yes. But they said it had the power to take life like no other axe. That it would seek the vitals every time it was swung. And perhaps even get a D8 artifact bonus die on every attack roll.
No.
Indeed. That's what the legend
I
says.
hate swimming, but I will swim for that axe.
Well, shame it's been lost to time.
Yeah,
You misunderstand the power of friendship.
I can't say I know what that means, but thank you for this sword. And he drops a pile of gold on the table. Yours for the taking. A pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, what's your name? Oh, he's gone.
He ain't gone.
Hopefully he comes back. I got a weapon to
yeah.
sell.
Hold on. Do you buy leather perchance as well?
His name is Reinhard.
Reinhard.
Reinhard of the Glowing Anvil. What did you ask him?
I just asked if he buys leather.
No, but it'll be really easy to sell it nearby.
Okay.
Wait, I have a weapon to sell. Reinhard, what can I get for this short spear? And I'm gonna pull out the short spear that I've been carrying, I guess, on my back, with a silver tip and inlay. It's pretty nice, pretty neat.
Where'd you get it from?
Got some fine craftery. I think I got it off of that dead dude in the forest.
Oh.
Remember the one with the handkerchief? I cleaned it. I got so much stuff, and it's been so long since I've been able to sell it. There ain't no telling where some of the stuff is from.
I told Aimee and Hank while they were hanging out the other day how many adventures I've prepped that you all have just completely bypassed, and I won't tell you the number, but it is more than 2 and less than 4.
Well, that one we kind of knew, though.
He made a point to say distinct. Like, he's made 3 distinct adventures or plot hooks or whatever that we've just walked past. He hasn't dropped the same one in front of us 3 times.
Josh, I can absolutely tell you that now that my inventory is clear, I am happy to follow another plot hook. I've
We've been
wanted
trying to
just
sell stuff for a while.
Every time we get to a town, Josh is like, plot hook, and I'm like, but there's the merchant.
You have 10 times more money now than you've had at any point in the campaign. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Which,
10
you know what
times
that means.
10 times 1.4 is just like 14.
For the record, fixing up
Strongholding and stay in place and not take any plot hooks.
fixing up a
No, that means the plot hooks come to us.
fixing up a moderate-sized stronghold in disrepair like Red Hook Redoubt or some other places would probably cost you about 15 gold. Building one from scratch anywhere you damn well want would probably cost you about 30. So you've got a pile of money now. You got options.
Still have more to sell. Still more to sell.
Yeah. All right.
What can I get for this beautifully fancy crafted short spear?
I hear there's a legend of a plot hook attached to it.
Very much doubt that.
I hear the story was there was a tree at somewhere in the dank woods.
He says,
People.
A knight.
he takes it from you. He says, by the gods, a completely ordinary short spear. Dwarves never craft these. I've not seen one recently. I'll give you a silver and 5 copper for it.
It's got silver inlays. The silver inside of it not worth more?
It has silver inlays.
short
Where did you
spear
get
by
it?
itself.
Where did you get it? I thought it was normal. Where did you get it?
She thinks it was from
I'm
the
pretty
guy
sure I got it
that-
off of the corpse of the dude in the forest.
Oh, yeah.
Short spear with the silver.
All right, hold on.
Most likely killed by an int.
The noble.
I'll give you 2 silver, 5 copper for it.
Yeah, that sounds a little more like it. Thank you. Appreciate it. 2 silver, 5 copper.
I was just kidding before.
Thank you, sir. Uh-huh.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
2 silver.
Anything else we want to liquidate?
That's all the weapons. We got to go to another store.
What other stuff you want to sell?
Leather, a healing bag, and a finely embroidered calfskin glove is what I have.
This is a grand marketplace, and you can find sellers for any of these things. You don't have to roleplay them unless you have particular information you want from the shopkeep or particular discussion around the item. So,
I want to ask a dwarf
yes.
a question.
okay. You step out of the shop and you see a dwarf. It's a middle-aged lady dwarf, and she's walking, and she stops abruptly while holding a basket of mushrooms in her arms because you're standing in her way. And she says, "Excuse me, trying to get around."
My apologies. I was gonna ask a question, but I might ask it of someone who seems to be in a bit of a better mood. I thought everyone would be in a good mood for the celebration. Excuse me, random other dwarf.
Hey, I would ask that lady a question.
Oh my goodness, let's not roleplay with every single
I made a character, and my character just got the hand, the talk to the hand. Give me another character that's nicer, please. Fine. Mushroom Lady is just gonna step around you and say, I never, these foreigners, and she just goes marching off into a crowd.
Excuse me, random other dwarf.
There's a random middle-aged male dwarf, and he has
A basket of mushrooms.
No. Absolutely not. He has a basket. He has a basket of bread rolls and a smile on his face. And he says, "Ah, foreigners, how delightful. A pleasure to meet you. Would you like any assistance?"
I would love some. You by chance know where the Stone Loom Mountains are, or Stone Loom Mines? Would you?
Fuck. All right, give me a minute.
Yeah, I was looking for actual information when you brought up random middle-aged mushroom. I needed actual help, man.
Just have this one say no.
It's fine. If he says no, she'll just get another one, and then they'll have to say it. It's fine. Just give me a
There's
second.
this lady in town who carries a basket of mushrooms. She knows all about the mines.
God. You're all fired. Give me a second.
I haven't bought a single hat yet, man. Come on.
We're still trying to sell stuff. We can't buy hats yet. I will not feel safe until all of our loot is sold. Remember the last time we were in a big city? A dragon showed up.
A dragon showed up. I paid for armor I did not receive.
Yeah, that's why I'm
I got
trying to like
back.
rush the process before plot comes to us.
All right.
Yeah, he said that's why you
And there was also a festival at that town. We had to roll an egg to
All right. Yeah, there's festivals everywhere we go. All right. The dwarf stops holding his basket of bread rolls, and he's like, hold on. And he takes one out and takes a bite out of it. I've heard of the Stone Loom Mines. Have you heard the legend? They were the stronghold and homeland of the Meramanian dwarves. You've heard of that clan, by the way, because that was the clan of...
That was my lore thing.
Yeah, that was the clan of, what's his name? Yawim from the Hollows. He was a former member of that clan. He says, the Stone Loom Mines were the home of the Meramanian dwarves. They were abandoned years ago after the Third Alder War. They say that they were abandoned during the wars because they couldn't be defended, but the truth is something darker. My grandpappy told me. They were driven out by something that was devouring dwarves. Something terrible that made its way into their home. Rumors speak that the mad wizard Zygofer, a frailer from the far south, cursed his family as they fled his ever more frightening presence, and that tainted by demonic infection, his child sought shelter among the dwarves in the Stone Loom Mines and turned into a terrible monster that caused the collapse of the entire city, and none have dared enter the cave since. At least that's what I've heard. Would you like a bread roll?
I would love a bread roll. Thanks, mate.
Are you here for the festivities?
I'm enjoying the festivities, not my reason for coming. Do you know where the Stone Loom Mines are?
Oh, let's see here. Let's see here.
Flaps Roggar's hand.
He's just 6 bread rolls deep.
Give me one sec. Oh, I believe the Stone Loom mines are in a tiny mountain range right in the heart of the dark and forbidden forest known as the Shroud.
Well, that's certainly interesting. It's phenomenal to me that I haven't heard of such things before. You are very helpful and kind and much nicer than another dwarf that I met just 2 minutes before you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question as well?
I only know one legend, but go ahead.
Babies have beards.
What?
I'm wondering, when you're born, do dwarven babies have beards, or do the beards come when you reach maturity?
Hold this for a second.
Bread roll. Oh, yeah.
He walks away without answering your question while your mouth is full of bread.
I got free bread.
He's shaking his head as he walks away.
I'll one to Sir Archibald.
Give one to Dahlia. She's about to get, like, ass over tea kettle drunk.
She's missing. She's missing. She's been gone. She disappeared the second you came into the marketplace. She scanned around and just slipped off. Lynn is still trailing you, but she
I assumed Lynn was still on my shoulders.
she's
I
off your
also
shoulders.
assumed
She keeps
She's
picking
been, like,
things
sleeping
up.
this whole time.
She keeps picking things up off of merchant shelves and getting her wrist slapped because nobody thinks she has any money.
Does she?
She's looking increasingly pissed off.
Does she have money?
She comes from wealth.
You don't know. It's never come up.
It's a real Harry Potter story.
Hey, Lynn. Whatever it is. Anything interesting here that you would like to buy while we're in town? I know we still got a lot of stuff to sell. And I know that we got you that super cool shiny bracelet when we were in the forest. Anything else in particular you were looking for? Like a nice hat?
I'd like to buy my freedom, but you won't give me that
Correct.
because you want to control me and drag me with you.
A little bit. Until I can get the deep magic out of you. I can't imagine you'll be able to do that by yourself.
Yeah, I'm
anything
sure
else you
you'll
need
have
to
a
have
great
meal?
time at it.
Okay. That's enough. Lynn,
She's
look
done
like-
so good so far.
she has. Okay, no, that's enough. You, Vergello.
Oh my god.
She thinks she's my mom, but she's not, because my mom's dead. She was killed by magic, dark magic. The same kind of magic that lives in me, the same kind of magic that Ralgar runs around with, and he can't even control it.
Actually, I think he has a different kind of magic. And to be fair, she kind of acts like she's all of our moms. So let's just go sell some stuff, get some food. All these wounds are still fresh.
Her hair is standing
I
up a
would
little
act
bit.
like my mom left me in a basket in the woods.
Her hair is standing up a little bit like that static electricity effect, and there's some sparks coming off of it as she starts to get worked up.
Lynn, did
Grunrock said he came from a basket in the woods.
I said she doesn't act like my mom. My mom left me in a basket in the woods.
Lynn, did you want something from the marketplace here while we're here? Any trinkets or anything?
I don't know. I've never had any kind of jewelry or anything. Why would I care?
What about the shiny bracelet you're literally wearing?
Right? And it's not like they're
But
selling
I
freedom.
hate you.
She's got it concealed under her clothes. She's guarding it closely, but she's like, no. This is, I mean, I have this bracelet, but I've never had like anything with like a gemstone in it. I've never even seen one until today.
Well, you know what? Neither have I. If we can find something on the cheap, I will happily buy it for you. But we are all very broke. I'm pretty sure you're tired of eating terrible rations, so let's get us a nice bed first. How how much would a little pendant with a small gem in it cost, Josh? Is it worth a finely embroidered calfskin glove?
You can get a semi-precious gemstone in a tarnished silver pendant for 3 silver pieces.
Dang. What can I get for 6 silver pieces?
You can get a high-end semi-precious gemstone in a tarnished silver pendant on a silver chain for 6 silver pieces.
Okay. I'll do that.
That one?
And I will buy that.
All right,
We're
you
not
get to
made of
choose.
muslin.
You get to choose bloodstone, moonstone, or jade.
What color's our hair?
Lynn's hair, black.
Yeah. What color's moonstone? Is it white? Am I just stupid?
It's white and like
It is
pearlescent.
white. It's beautiful. Yeah.
You could do onyx. That's another. Onyx is another
No.
semi-precious gemstone.
Gonna go with moonstone.
All right,
The white
moonstone.
and the black contrast.
It's
It'll
like-
stand out.
Okay. So you're gonna spend 6 silver pieces on a moonstone pendant. Why do you make me write things down?
I just want to grumble towards Grunrock and be like, see, this way you get in a fight with mommy and daddy buys you things. We never get things he bought for us.
I just take it. Want another piece of bread?
Whoa, yes.
Literally shoving
like-
your
like
face
right-
full of
I-
bread.
Grunrock, like behind Grunrock, is like some kid on the ground crying who doesn't have bread anymore.
And you're here shopping for jewelry for your evil magic possessed companion.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. No more role playing for me as far as selling stuff. I want to sell all of this crap.
Get it done. Get out of here.
Just call it the moonstone
Before it
pendant
explodes.
and give it to her in a few minutes. Let's finish up doing other stuff first.
Okay.
So, there are countless places to spend the night that are all roughly equivalent in cost, unless you particularly want to splurge on staying in like a really high-end place. There are breweries and taverns and inns all mixed through the marketplace, hostels, and
I
plenty of places to stay.
Sell the rest of my stuff. I have 5 leather pieces. How much does that give me?
Right.
I still have a healing bag and that finely embroidered.
We're doing like 18 sessions worth of shopkeep.
Of shop.
Upkeep.
Yeah.
I'm literally just like, I'm trying to get this out the way so we can get to the fun part again.
Yeah.
Silver
trinkets.
candelabra, bumblebee pin.
It was leather, not hides, right? You like tanned it yourself
Yeah, no, it's just leather.
Yep,
I tanned
there.
it.
because it makes
Silver
perfect
pieces
sense.
normally.
One sec. Trade goods, leather.
12 silver.
Yeah, for
They're 12
was-
silver a piece.
I'm following the D&D rules of thumb, which is that for specialized goods that not a ton of people want, you do it for a percentage of the cost, and for things that are trade goods like leather, it's just universally useful, so it's really easy to sell, so it just goes for full price. It's like equivalent to cash, so whatever it lists for leather, you'll get that.
Okay, that's 12 copper.
I just found it.
and,
Yeah. Wait.
Uh,
Oh, sorry. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yep. You're good.
all right, and then the healing bag. The only note that I have for a +2 on heal, and I just have very valuable in parentheses.
Yeah.
I hold on to that. Because the reason I say is that when you really need a heal, every
Thing is,
dice counts.
I roll an 8. Granted, like +2 would be nice, but I roll 8, so I would if it's worth a chunk, then there's no way. And the other problem is it's heavy.
Yep. Give me one sec. I'm checking the price of it. It's the medical bag. There we go.
Oh yeah, I guess I put healing bag because it's
Gives a +2 to heal checks. It's a finely crafted medical bag full of high-quality tools.
They were like fancy tools.
There
or
we go.
something.
All right. You are offered 1 gold, 2 silver for the healing bag with the tools.
Yeah. Thank you. If it wasn't heavy, I would keep it, but it literally takes up so much space.
What about my rewind? My silver candelabra.
Can you remind me where you got it so that I can look up what it was worth?
Yup, in the Vale of the Dead, when we killed that troll,
Okay.
we found
Give
it
me
in
a
his
sec.
cave, and it was said to be worth a gold or more because we got XP for that session.
Elric says you're gonna encounter a virulence 10 disease as soon as you sell off the bag. And I'm inclined to agree.
You know, it's still worth it.
I tried to reply in the chat, but it made me my login is screwed up, so it's not letting me type right now. Alright. Vale of the Dead.
I am now at a cumbrance 7 of 11.
Alright, give me 1 sec on the candelabra. It's way back in my notes. It's been a long time.
While you do that, Josh,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I got it just as a treasure at one point. It's a 1 gold piece, finely embroidered calfskin glove. Are you fine with just me doing it as a gold, or is that going to be percentage that you got to do math on?
I have that one noted somewhere. Give me a second.
Okay. All right,
The
so
silver candelabra, you are offered 2 gold, 1 silver for it.
Nice.
Deal. How many silvers make a gold bill? You know this. Is it?
It's all 10 to 10 to 10.
It's all base 10.
10 copper to 1 silver, 10 silver to 1 gold.
Imagine if there was something in between gold and silver that was like worth half. Like, how ridiculous would that be?
That would be really dumb.
Electrum.
If that was a thing, I would refuse to play that edition of whatever game it appeared in, and I would play something else. I would switch from that game to Forbidden Lands in a heartbeat.
just for the
definitely no
economy.
There's no way you'd run that game with, I don't know, at least one person who'd never played, really. And in their first session, load them down with 30 of those, and then try and explain the economy system.
All right. Those finely embroidered gloves are going to fetch you exactly 1 gold.
What about my bumblebee pin? Did you guys get bumblebee pins too?
No, you pulled that pin
No,
from
you
a
pulled that pin.
corpse.
Oh yeah,
and
and it let out all
Yeah.
the death.
This whole session is converting loot into money. BRB.
Yeah,
we
I still
saw
got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
too.
we saw the bee statue and an onyx statue. Like,
It's got to be done though. This is what happens when you don't go to a town for 24 sessions.
I mean, we've been on the run. Like, this is a proper city that can like properly trade stuff.
The pin will fetch you 1 silver, 2 copper.
Sick. How about this giant bee statue?
Yeah.
Got it. 1 sec.
Hey Bill, I'm gonna give you my D6 of torches and turn you into a D8.
Okay.
Even though I'm really good at carrying torches. You can always toss me one when you need to, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think we should probably load up on torches in general.
1 gold, 2 silver for the bee statuette with the amber and the gilding.
And then
Fantastic. What about this small bone serpent wrapped around a monolith?
Where did you get that?
After the honey lich, but it's right there next to the turquoise stone with the pink rose and signet ring. So possibly off of that guy?
The signet ring for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about the monolith.
Ah,
Do you
okay.
not remember?
Got it.
Sorry.
The statuette with the monolith is 4 silver, 5 copper.
Phenomenal. What about his insignet ring? It's a turquoise stone
Yeah,
with pink rose.
that one is 1 silver even.
I will hold on to his handkerchief just in case we run into his family.
Okay.
Someone must have stolen his other belongings, but this was here. What about a jar of honey from a dungeon of the Honey Lich?
And Grunrock's virginity.
Priceless.
Better offer a good amount, GM.
I'll get to that one in a minute. You find a food merchant who's like, some honey? 2 silvers for it.
Yeah, okay. What about this unit of herbs?
Wait a minute.
What?
Something smells off about this honey. What did you do to it? I think it's turned in
Do
some
anything.
way.
I found it in the town full of bees.
The bee town. You went to Bee Town, and you fetched up this foul-smelling honey. I've dealt in many
Well,
honeys,
there were so
dearie,
many
and this honey is strange. She dips a finger into it. Taste it.
So you... God. Doesn't taste bad. It actually tastes really good, doesn't it?
Tastes delightful.
Tripping balls.
Tastes delightful. Tastes delightful. Tastes
Oh, you
delightful.
broke her.
Tastes delightful. When were we again?
You said you would give me 3 silver for this honey?
3?
Yeah, because it's so good. You said, I don't know about the smell, but then you tasted it and you went,
It's delightful.
it's delightful. 3 silver. It's delightful.
Who are you? Why are the walls closing in?
Is there a drug dealer I can sell this honey to?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't dabble with pipe weed. I don't like to have hallucinations. You
Good
purple
for me.
bear, you.
How much would you give me for this unit of herbs since you don't want to buy my honey?
What herbs? Let me see. Did you get those from the sensor in the Lich Dungeon?
Yeah. No, she got it from the hunter dude and the bee
Yeah.
town.
I stole them from the hunter dude.
Herbs. Got it. She'll offer you standard asking price for that. But then she's like, that honey is delightful. I'll give you 4 silvers for it.
Do I think I could sell it more to a drug dealer?
No, just take your 4 silver.
Let's go find a dwarven drug dealer. Plot discovered.
Yes.
Her a husband in the back as you're walking away, and she's like, look, I bought this bushel of bees from a strange friend. And her husband is like, what are you on about?
This couple's about to have a great festival.
Look! They walk into the house and slam the door.
Oh my goodness. I think that's all the loot that we had to sell.
Last thing I want to sell is
Amazing.
this cheap mug. I've been holding on to it for 12 sessions.
Oh, Lord. Hold on. I've got that one noted. Let me flip 75 pages back.
I
Mrs.
think-
Baltimore comes around the corner.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
my mug.
How dare you try to sell stolen property?
That's what happened in the Hollows.
If Mrs. Baltimore walks up, combat is starting right now, I swear, because that is not her.
I draw
Oh, man.
initiative 10.
Mrs. Palmore doesn't
Somehow
lose
goes on
initiative.
one. She's been training with the alligator people.
Palmer's been working out.
Mrs. Swollemore.
Tarnished silver mug, stolen from the Palmore estate. 2 silver pieces.
Woo-woo.
20 sessions later, you get your 2 silver pieces for the mug.
Jeez.
Literally 20
I've been
sessions
trying to
later.
sell it for. Oh, what about this magic bowl?
I see.
Is this the bowl that turns water into blood now?
Yep.
It turns water into blood. It has shiny, opalescent magic around it whenever it gets wet. However, it is scorched black by a lightning bolt. It's a damaged artifact of unknown use. That'll fetch you 5 silver if you want to sell it off.
Yep, for sure.
All right.
I know it was like this cool plot thing, but Lynn broke it, and now it's just, if I hold on to it, I'm gonna get caught with it. Might as well.
Technically, Lynn's
off on
magic
someone else.
broke it. All right.
Lynn broke it.
Fine with me.
Alright.
All right.
Let's find us a nice place to stay.
Yeah.
Standard prices for the night, or do you want to splurge since you just made a bunch of money?
What's standard prices again?
Poor
Let's do
people
that.
prices. Poor
Will
people
be
prices.
Cheap beer, and milk. I like milk.
Thank you for everyone who stayed and hung out
While
right
we
now.
did shopping.
Alric. And
This is what the game's all about.
Listen.
Look, 22 sessions of cashing in loot is, I think that's fun. It really didn't take that long either. Took a minute.
We got some gold now.
If you all want private rooms for yourselves for the night in an ordinary inn somewhere in the marketplace, that'll run you 5 copper each.
Hey, Grunrock, do you want to share a room?
Yeah, I'm broke.
Lodging in a dormitory with room for multiple people to sleep is 2 copper apiece. So instead of spending 5 for the 2 of you, you could spend 4 for the both of you if you just want to go cheap.
What if I want to stay up all night learning skills instead of sleeping?
You'll be tired tomorrow, and you want a room to do it in, which will cost you 5 copper.
Yeah, I guess if I'm going to work on my move skill, we don't want to do that in a shared dormitory. Just running in circles.
Oh my goodness.
Where's Dahlia? We should find her before we.
You can have rooms for the entire party for 5 nights for 1 gold piece. Like private rooms for the whole party for 5 nights for 1 gold.
We're going to get run out of town probably tomorrow. Like, let's
be real.
Yeah. Let's not buy a room for the week. I will spend 5 silver to get Dahlia and Lynn a room that they can share in.
Copper, not silver.
Sorry, copper.
That's fine.
And I mean,
Okay.
I'm fine with.
Yep, I'll get my room.
Private rooms for all 4. Mark off 5 copper. You can easily make change here, so if you need to spend a...
What time
Half
of
a
day is
silver.
it right now, Josh?
Oh. That's a question. 1 sec.
Thank you.
It was morning when we arrived and hiked up the side of the mountain. The
Ram.
majority of this market stuff probably happens at daytime, so it's now evening.
Did we explore?
There is time for you to do more things today if there's more things you want to do today. What did you ask, Bill?
I want to buy a. Sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
I was just asked if we explored this area this session, or if we did that last session.
We did not get the stuff for it last session. We'll get it this session.
Okay.
You get an experience for discovering an adventure site, and I think I gave you one last time for discovering a new adventure site.
Okay. If it's for discovering, then that's
You
probably
might
what
have.
happened. I thought. It was
I think you got an XP last
I thought
time
it was
for.
exploring.
Okay, so we
That's my bad. I
explored.
thought it was exploring too.
We explored
It's not
one
exploring. It's
time.
discovering a new adventure site, and I think I gave it to you last time.
Okay, and then we're shopping the daytime. So yeah, I don't have anything.
I can go
else.
back and double check, but
I'll go back and double check. I want to buy a pair of earrings.
okay.
Actually, case in point, are Lynn's ears pierced?
No,
No. I want
she
to
came from a
buy-
remote village in the forest. They probably didn't have a lot of jewelry.
I want to buy another bracelet.
Okay.
Something nice and shiny, and I'm willing to put a bit of money on it.
How much money? What's your goal for this bracelet?
Buying one.
Because she's just been purchased a moonstone pendant worth 6 silver pieces by Vergello.
Over Gillo. I mean, I'm not trying to like one up Vergello. I'm trying to find something of anywhere from like 5 to 10 silver pieces that looks nice. I'm not trying to be cheap. I'm not trying to one up him.
Call
I'm
it
just looking for
6.
something
We'll call it equivalent value. Semi-precious gemstone. This can be moonstone, bloodstone, jade, onyx, lapis, anything of your choice. This is a huge dwarven city full of craftsmen with ample access to metals and gemstones.
I will do a lapis.
And you
Lapis
wanted a bracelet?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many shops. You can find any combination of type and stone. So this will be a lapis bracelet in tarnished silver with dwarven runes carved all the way around the band.
Do I have a way to restore it, the silver, so that it's not tarnished? Or can I spend more money for it to be restored?
You can spend more money for it to not be tarnished.
Okay, how much more money?
If you pay a full gold piece,
Okay. Not tarnished.
alright. You purchase her a fine silver bracelet with dwarven runes etched all around the band with a lapis stone in the center. Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna hold on to it for a little bit.
All right. Anything else anything else in the evening time? You're underground, so time is becoming semi-meaningless very quickly, but
Was all of that? Sorry, was all that shopping daytime or was that evening time?
that was daytime. We're now getting into evening. You can do additional shopping. You can go hang out at a tavern. You can explore. You can do whatever you want.
I am going to try and roll for a skill.
All right. Evening time,
Sorry,
roll
not
for
a
skill.
A talent.
Go for it.
Talent.
And I am going to spend the day. So I successfully rolled a move while coming up that hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to acquire that talent or that skill.
Just working out on your way up. Gotta get in shape. Gotta get in shape. Gotta get in shape. Just like we used to be. I don't know why you're a we. You're like Gollum. You're plural.
It's roll away. It's fine.
All right. Ralgar is training a skill in the evening time. And for Gello, what were you doing again? You were
I also a skill, or sorry,
Skill.
talent.
talent. Okay. And you succeeded on your roll. Grinralk and Velas, you have an evening alone in a dwarf city.
I'm gonna go find Dahlia, and I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna bring Lynn along and get her something tasty to eat.
She is finding the finest dwarven ale in town, and she is having at it because she used to love Yawim's brew.
How does
And-
this dwarven ale compare?
She's like, this is pretty good, but Yawim's is like maybe better. I don't even know. Yawim's was so good, but it's been forever, and this is amazing. And the barkeep is like, Yawim! And she's like, Yeah. Yawim was a dwarf that lived in my town, and he had really good beer. And he's like, that wasn't dwarven beer at all. Yawim is that metamanian cheapskate who passed off a human brew as his own. A traitor to dwarven kind. I'm disgusted that you'd even say such a thing. I'll prove we've got better ale here than he ever had. And the barkeep just slides a huge mug of the house ale to her. And she's like, I'll be the judge of that. And all the dwarves are standing around in a semicircle waiting to hear her verdict on whether it's better or worse than Yawim's. Meanwhile, Grunrock, the only person who doesn't have a thing to do, is standing out in the marketplace when you hear a from the distance, and you see a lot of dwarves filing up the big marble staircase toward the Stonegardens. And there seems to be a to-do happening. There's a whole lot of dwarves filing up towards the entrance of the city. You hear distant heralds blowing horns to announce someone's arrival. And everybody else is busy training or busy chilling out in a tavern getting drunk.
I'll go look. I will investigate the
You head up to the Stonegardens, and there's many dwarves gathered. It seems like the non-dwarves are mostly chilling down in the marketplace, uninterested in whatever is happening up here, but you make your way up to the Stonegarden, and there is an elaborate procession happening because just at sundown, some sort of dwarven noble is arriving, and a lot of people are excited about it. And there's a huge crowd of dwarves gathered around, and the herald will announce... Sorry, one sec. The herald will announce the arrival of King Torek of Beldurand. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There's a king showing up, apparently, and there is a huge parade of dwarves marching in, and they are dressed in armor that is edged in some sort of blue stone with silver, very different from the black stone with, or black metal with gold that the Ironhound guards all wear. And the dignitaries who are traveling alongside the king are wearing long, flowing, dark blue-colored robes. They are, instead of black battle axes, are mostly carrying huge hammers of some dark gray stone, and they are marching into the city. And you see... This is a procession of maybe 24 dwarves from some foreign land who are arriving, and many of them are finely dressed, many of them are guards, and at the center of the procession is a huge dwarf, the biggest dwarf you've ever seen, so overweight that he cannot walk, being carried on a palanquin type thing. So there's 4 dwarves under him straining to hold a huge platform. All of them look dead because they've just marched up the mountain, and they're all but they are wearing mostly closed helmets with just a slit down the front, and you can see drool stains down the front of their armor. One of them has vomit on his metal boots, and they are all visibly trembling under the weight of this thing. And there is a super huge dwarf on the top of it who is pale-skinned, sickly-looking, very overweight, accompanied by many noble guards. And they announce him as King Turek of Beldurand. And... give me one sec. I need to reference something real quick. But there's a huge procession happening, and there's dwarves all around that are eagerly watching as he arrives.
You'd think they would have used one of the cranes.
Maybe they did. Just carrying this guy from one room to another is a whole thing.
But they still made his, he still had to have his guys carry him while he was on the train.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna find the nearest, like, middle-aged dwarven lady, preferably angry with a basket of mushrooms.
Okay. You do that.
And I'm gonna kind of elbow her in the ribs to get her attention.
Excuse me, I'm trying to watch. Do you mind not
Is
bumping
everybody
into...
celebrating this great puff? What's so special about him, other than being the most corpulent dwarf I've ever seen?
He's the king of the most ancient clan of dwarves in all the Ravenlands.
The blue guys.
Yeah,
Obviously not you.
the Belduranians. Do you know nothing? He's here for the veneration of Earth ceremony. He's here to enjoy the veneration of Earth ceremony. You owe him the dignity of your allegiance. Now, if you don't care to look around, everyone's kneeling but you.
Oh, I'm not gonna kneel to some fat prude.
Shameful.
I'm from the Shroud. I'm not a dwarf. I don't listen to your customs.
Isn't that where the orc... Never mind. Stop talking. I'm trying to hear the king. There's still a loud... all the heralds going off, and there are 2 dwarves from the city who are marching up the stairs to meet these foreigners that appear to be very important.
One standing.
Yeah. There are 2 dwarves, a handsome husband and wife with locked elbows walking side by side up the main thoroughfare through the glorious stone gardens, and they both have dark complexions and jet black hair, and they are they are wearing fine noble garb that is all jet black with gold embroidery, and the heralds announce them as King Caranax and Queen Solma of the Canides, rulers of Stonegarden. We eagerly welcome you into our midst, glorious King Turek of Beldoran. You honor us with your presence. And the husband and wife dwarf, who are middle-aged looking with black hair and very well dressed and very healthy looking, both kneel and bow to the King of Beldoran. And there is a silence that falls over the crowd as they do this. Everybody's looking on eagerly and nobody's saying anything. And there's kind of an awkwardly long pause, and you see the king and queen kneeling, who are looking at each other, looking back up at the guy on the palanquin, looking at each other, and then he says, "Yes, hello." And there's just a very long, awkward silence. And finally, King Turek stands up and says, "Hello indeed. Many years has it been, old friend. What a glorious regathering." And then all the crowds just applaud like something great has happened, but to your eyes, nothing has happened. The guy on top of the palanquin seems very out of it. And they welcome him into the city and take him along. There's a procession of dwarves marching after him. There's 2 in particular who are dressed in the same garb with the same sigils on their clothing as the king, who are trailing behind, perhaps children or other related nobles. 2 of them, one male and one female, a daughter with raven black hair, and a son in grayish blue robes, different from all of the others, with gold chains around his neck, and the 2 of them are walking side by side and talking quietly while their father is marched into the city. The old dwarf lady next to you will tell you, "Those are the children of King Beldoran, heirs to the throne. You should at least bow to them, even if you don't bow to the king."
The only people I'd bow to
And I'll point towards the couple.
are those two. And the only reason is because, well, they let me in. I don't owe him anything.
All right,
Who's
fine.
the older of the children? Who's next in line?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell at a glance. Are you asking this lady?
Yeah, I am.
She says, I believe the girl, Regalda, she's the heir to the throne by age. But she's female, and there's some disagreement as to who should inherit, her or her brother. There are many who support her claim and side with her, but it's not decided who's going to inherit the throne of Belderan.
Regalda. Okay.
I believe there's been a dispute. But what do I care? I'm just excited to be able to sell all these mushrooms. And you realize she's the mushroom lady.
There, wait.
She pulls out her basket. Would you like to buy one?
I'll trade you one.
And I'll pull a mushroom out of my pocket.
Did you have a mushroom in your pocket?
I do have a mushroom in my inventory, yes.
I've never seen such a thing. This must have come from the forest down below. I'll try it.
Yeah.
She swaps you one for one.
Okay.
I'll chomp down on her cave mushroom and then start asking her about the dispute.
So,
Okay.
you're telling me that the boy and the girl are quibbling over who gets to take Fat Guy's throne?
Yes, King Belderan. King Turek of Belderan. There is some dispute as to who will inherit the throne, and it is not known who is going to win out in the claim, but there are factions in support of her and her brother. There's also a younger brother, a third, but perhaps he did not grace us with a visit.
Is there animosity between the siblings?
They've very different sorts of philosophies as to what should happen to their clan, and many are waiting to see who wins out, because it might determine the fate of the dwarves in these lands. Regalda, the daughter, she seeks to reclaim lost dwarven territory claimed by the Dark Lord Zygofer, who took ancient dwarven homelands away from us. The brother, well, he thinks this is all a test and a distraction, and that we should focus on our holy task of building up the earth to reach the very stars.
So, what relation do they have to Stonegarden?
Well, they are the princes and princesses of a different dwarven kingdom. They're here for the veneration of earth. They're simply paying a visit.
Right. So they don't necessarily control this kingdom.
No, of course not. They've no claim to the Canine lands, nor would they be able to defend them if they had to. Why, I could fight more orcs with this mushroom basket than those Belderanian weaklings could face in the heat of battle with an axe fresh from the forge.
You know,
And I'll pinch her on the bottom.
I'd like to see that.
No!
Crowd.
I never! You pesky little goblin! She clutches her mushrooms close to the chest and she says, You steer clear of me! You hear that? You hear that, you little green heathen? And she goes stomping off into the crowd.
I'll walk in the opposite direction. Are there any murmurings amongst the crowd, or are they moving in one general direction?
Oh, there's a lot of murmurings and a lot of people following along. They seem to be heading through the gardens, and rather than descending down to the marketplace, they are ascending up into some like noble estates set in the highest peaks of the mountains, up some staircases that are guarded by rows of guards so that you seem to not have access to, and they're carried up there, still heaving along with the dwarf king on his platform.
I'll follow along as close as I can get and then mill about, not necessarily right in front of the guards, but probably visible to them.
Okay. They won't let you up the staircase toward the estates, but you can mill about in the crowds.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mill about in the crowds and
Okay.
keep my ears open for anything in.
You hear lots of murmurings that are akin to what you've heard so far. There seems to be a hubbub in the town about how sickly the king looks and how close to his deathbed he appears to be. That's the talk of the town. People have different opinions about supporting the son, supporting the daughter, various prejudiced thoughts about the Belduranian dwarves, but the through line that you hear walking through the crowds is a whole lot of people murmuring about how bad the king looks. People seem to be... There's a quickly spreading rumor that he is on his deathbed and that any day now things are going to change. You want to rejoin with the party?
Yeah, I'll make my way back to where we're all staying.
I need to run to the restroom, so you go back and RP with the party. And you can catch people up on what you've seen, any amount of it that you want to share. I'll be right back.
You got it, boss. Is anybody even at the place we're staying?
I am, because that's where I was practicing my talent.
I'm getting drunk with Dahlia, so yeah, I'm there.
Adam, are you in the inn or are you out and about?
I am in my room, running in circles, working on my move skill.
I'm gonna go gather the troops, so to speak, and bring them to probably Adam's room, as it's the seemingly the most private place.
Now that I've gathered you all here, there is
the murderer.
there's a great fat dwarf that just came into the city. I mean, he makes Miss Polymore look fit. No offense, Talia. Point being, apparently there's a debate of succession, and this guy looks like he might kick the bucket tonight. So things might get kind of weird here in the next few days.
God, I'm glad we didn't pay to stay for a week then. Jesus.
I don't know. It could be a lot of fun to watch what happens. Gotta keep moving.
What's the deal with the successions? Is it?
Well, there's a difference in opinion amongst the children. Apparently, the oldest is female, and that somehow makes it where she can't be in charge of anything. But all that to say, she wants to reclaim Zygofer's territory that he took from the dwarves, and the brother just wants to keep piling dirt until he goes to space or some stupid dwarven nonsense like that. Oh, and there's a third one who's not here. But I'm telling you, the fat one looks sick.
Didn't our hot air balloon friend tell us that there was a female dwarf trying to reclaim the Stonehill mines, and that's where we first heard about this legend? Or am I misremembering?
You're probably not misremembering. You've got a better memory than me. His name is King Torik of Belderand. Big fat blue and silver thing. His daughter's name's Regalda. Regalda? I have no idea what the other brother's name is. I didn't catch it from the mushroom lady.
Wait, the mushroom lady? Ugh. Can only trust about a quarter of this.
Well, maybe if we could talk with the girl. I mean, isn't the Stonehill mines in the direction where we were going? Wasn't that like...
The Stone Loom mines are way down in the Shroud, which is to the, due south of Amber's Peak.
Oh,
Like,
okay, so
way
it's
south. It's the homeland that Grunral comes from. And it is far, and it is in a very different direction than you are currently traveling.
Well, I have no opinions, but if we wanted to do that, we could talk to her and say that we're heading there. I don't know what aid they would provide, but having someone who's from the Shroud, looking at you, Grunrock, might put them in our graces somewhat to
Well,
take us seriously.
I can't speak to that. Not many people like goblins. But if she's after what Zygofer took, that's Amber's Peak, isn't it?
I thought it was the Stonehill Mines, but I could be mistaken. I thought
I'm getting the names confused. There's
they
one
all
in
go
North
together.
Bay.
Zygofer, I just remember that Zygofer had a kid that sought shelter and took to the...
No, that was the Stone Loom Mines.
That's the one with the Merimanian Dwarven Stronghold?
Yeah.
Stone Loom Mines. Loom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stone
And
Loom
that's
Mines.
the one that's in... That's the one that's in the Shroud.
Which is, I guess, I don't know.
Pretty far from here.
Man,
All right,
this
Josh,
is
out
about to
of
sound
character.
terrible. Go ahead, Bill.
Josh, out of character. The story that we were told from our balloon dwarf friend, was it the Stone Loom Mines that he was referring to? With he said that there was someone important that was looking for a weapon or something, and I thought that it was the Stone Loom Mines.
He said that there is a princess of the Crome clan, Crombe, which is one of the other dwarf clans that you've not seen represented here yet, and that she is seeking a lost artifact that was a hammer. A lost hammer of dwarven kind that was once used to slay some great dragon in ancient times.
Skarn's Bane, right?
Skarn's Bane, that's the one. I wasn't sure how much he told you, so I didn't want to say too much.
was-
Yeah, there was a legend about an ancient dragon named Skarn that was killed with a hammer called Skarn's Bane, and that it has gone missing, that it's some sort of relic of the Crome clan of dwarves who are the self-proclaimed dragon slayer dwarves, and that hammer has gone missing and that she was seeking it. That was, I think, separate from the Stone Loom Mines conversation.
Yeah, that I think I was just getting my stories crossed.
There's a lot of different dwarf clans, and they all have different legends.
Yeah.
You've made your way to the homeland of one of the, 4 big dwarf clans here.
Which brings me back to what I was saying, guys. I mean, it's super interesting that, it's possible that the leader of these dwarves will want to fight Zygofer. Hats off to her. Can't see that going very well, but hats off to her. I don't know that I want to get super invested in dwarves, though. We got a couple other things that we could be working on.
I have more things I need to practice and learn. Could we just stay for one more day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
we
not
should-
saying we gotta leave. I'm
We
just
should
saying.
definitely stay for the festival in general.
Yeah, I'm not saying we gotta leave. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to toss my dice in with any particular dwarf that I don't really know or care that much about.
Yeah, I can't speak to getting into any particular politics. I thought about if we helped one out, or said that we were going to help one out, we could be sponsored to go on a treasure hunt we were already intending to go on. But if that steers us too far away from our goal, which was originally just to move west and find some orcs, now that we've found a place and sold treasure, we might want to talk to the princess and maybe look into going in a specific storied direction.
Yeah, I was looking for orcs in the west. I forgot.
You've all spent money to stay here for the night, so you want to rest for the night?
Yeah, for sure.
I am pushing my tiredness.
Yeah, you're exhausted.
I'm going to sleep.
You all want to sleep in a dwarven inn?
Yep,
Um,
I'm making sure our door's locked.
Vergello and
Cheapest way
Velas.
Grunrock can.
Vergello, Velas, and Dahlia. Your feet stick off the end of the bed a little bit. Grunwald,
fuck.
Ralgar, and Lynn. Super comfy cozy.
Wait, I thought Ralgar was a big old wolfkin. I have no idea how big I am.
I think you're
Yeah,
shorter
you-
than a typical human.
I think
Oh.
you're like the way. I think the way that
Okay.
you like hunch.
You're not. Yeah. You're not halfling small.
You know what? Either way, I'm curled up in a circle on my bed, so like,
Yeah.
All right. You rest through the night. It passes uneventfully, and you all get a nice night's rest. These caves are warmer than any of the wilderness places you've been staying. The smells are sweeter, and the distant echoing banging of the hammering at the forges deep down in the caves soothes you to sleep.
yeah,
It's just a rhythmic, quiet, distant, white noise. You drift away and enjoy your night's sleep here in the Inns of Stonegarden. You awake the next day to the smell of burning toast and a ruckus in the market square.
Huzzah!
that's fun. I'm gonna stay in my room and
I'm going to stay in my room and avoid the plot.
I'm gonna
I just
find.
need a day.
Hey, I didn't say crazy things were happening. I just said there was a ruckus, huh?
I'm gonna find Lynn
Okay.
whenever she gets up.
You can't find Lynn when you wake up. You wake up and
Not in Dolly's
she's
room.
absent.
I guess I'm gonna go searching around, see if I can find her.
I am also searching, looking for her.
You and Vergello gonna go searching?
I'll go help find the bomb.
Hey,
Well,
you guys, just let me know if you need me. Okay.
We should probably split up.
Hank, you said you were doing what?
I said I'm gonna go help find the bomb. I'll split up and search for clues.
Oh, the bomb. I thought you said the mom,
Yep.
so I was confused who you were talking
Yeah,
about.
you said mom too.
All right.
The bomb.
So the three of you are fanning out, and Ralgar, you said you're doing what?
I am gonna spend some more experience.
Okay.
In
On
the
what?
room. This time I am going to spend 10 experience points and level my melee up to level 2.
Wow. Nice.
So I'm just swinging my axe around my room.
All right. I'm assuming you're fanning out over the city, looking around for.
I'm
I
asking around to see if anyone sees
Sure.
I am going to pointedly go towards the entrance that we came through first, and then backtrack and spread out. I want to see if guards on rotation saw her leave.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go directly to the craziest part of the ruckus
Okay.
and stick my goblin-y nose in the middle.
The ruckus is the arrival of another foreign dignitary. This one is a. This one is a female dwarf with long jet black hair, who is standing in the middle of the village square. She has 6 dwarves around her that are not dressed in that like black hound armor. They are dressed in heavy steel armor with great swords slung at their backs. They look like fierce warriors of a different ilk than those in the town. And they are all equipped in expensive looking plate armor with great swords slung over their backs. And at the center of this semicircle of guards is this dark-haired dwarf who is giving a speech to the crowds. And when you walk up, she's in the middle of it, and she's saying, "And that's why We need to unite the clans and reclaim the holdfast of Vond from that bastard sorcerer Zygofer and send him back to the fiery pit he came from. This land is our birthright, and that fortress is our birthright. And these cowardly dwarves, yes, I said it, right here in his very city, these cowardly dwarves hiding in their halls, crawling into their caves instead of standing up to fight. If our ancestors had done the same, there would be no dwarves this day. We need to stand up and reclaim the homeland we came from, for the god Huge has called us to do so, and he has chosen his rightful kin to take up this task. He knows who the cowards are. He knows who the weak ones are. But will you stand side by side with me and cut down that wicked monster and send him back to the hills from whence he came? Do I hear a yah? And about a third of the crowd go, yeah! And then there's a rabble through the crowd. And you can tell there's division about whether to listen to this lady or not. The rabble picks up and people start screaming insults and shouting at each other, and it descends into some sort of madness with her standing in the middle of it. Despite her powerful voice, she gets overwhelmed by the crowd kind of losing its shit and people going at each other to the point where she can't continue her speech anymore.
Is there still so are the crowd pushing up to her guards, or is there space between the guards and the crowd?
She's standing in the middle of the crowd with a semicircle of guards around her, like she has her own bodyguard, and not only are they a bodyguard, they are plate armored 6 dwarves with heavy weapons bodyguards standing around her, so she must be somebody important.
I guess the question is, can I, without standing next to one of her guardsmen, can I break free of the crowd and be closer to her?
You want to approach her and try to talk to her?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. The crowds are all shouting at each other. People are pushing past each other. You're going to stand out from the crowd because you're a goblin. So when you get close, she's going to notice you and lock eyes with you, and you have a split second to say something that captures her attention enough for her to want to engage with you.
I'm going to grin real big and go like this.
Have you seen a angry-looking human girl?
What?
Have you seen an angry-looking human girl?
She turns and goes and talks to one of her guards and doesn't even answer you. The crowd closes in around you and you lose your window.
You don't understand. This is really important.
I rolled a d2 and Velas won the roll-off. She's going to stumble on Lynn before Vergello does. Sorry, Bill.
They're gonna fight.
Bill,
Yeah,
roll
of
a
course they are.
Bill, roll a d6, and on a 5 or 6, you're gonna show up in the middle of their conversation.
I show up in the middle of Grunrock's conversation.
Velas, you are asking around for her, and somebody says, "Oh, I saw an angry little girl go that way," and he points down a long corridor that leads away from the marketplace.
I will be like, thank you very much for your insight, and then I will take off and go jogging that way until I see her.
You make your way down a long, winding corridor of fine stonework that eventually leads to a parapet on the far side of the mountain. This is out the opposite side of the marketplace from the direction that you came in, and it leads to a stone platform on the opposite side of the mountain from the way that you came in, overlooking distant mountains. And when you step out, you're immediately awestruck by the fact that you can see like 40 miles of dank wood in every direction down below you, hundreds of meters down. It is the first time you've ever seen your home forest from way up in the sky, way up in these mountain peaks, and it's quite beautiful. And you see a lake off in the distance that must be Lake Varga, the lake that you were on the shores of earlier. And standing out near the edge of the parapets, gazing down over the forest, you see Lynn. There are dwarven guards standing nearby very stoically that are not looking at her, but you can... Well, they're not facing her, but you can tell that they're giving her the side eye from a distance. And she is just gazing out over the forest. And Ralgar is making signals.
Roger wants me to push her over the edge. That's not gonna happen.
Push her over, boom! Problem solved.
Nah, she'll blow up on the way down. Could start a whole avalanche in the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take like a couple deep breaths, kind of like shake off my nerves and my anxiety because I found her, and just like calmly walk up beside her. It's pretty beautiful from up here. Down there, not as much.
She doesn't say anything. She's looking out into the distance.
Gave me a bit of a scare.
Way off in the distance, you can see Dagger Rock, that really steep stone needle that was along the river to the south.
Yeah, where we,
that's like the farthest
Amber's
point
Peak.
you can see. Yeah, it's like the farthest point you can see. It's very close to Amber's Peak, way out in the distance.
I'm just gonna point it out to her. You see, that rock. There's a town not too far from there, where an evil sorcerer lives, and I'm not making this shit up. And he wanted to kill me, as many do. I'm sure you're coming to understand. And we fled the town, and we hid there for a while. That's pretty crazy.
She doesn't say anything. She's staring off in the distance. She does look at Dagger Rock when you say that, but she says nothing.
You know, conversations really work better when two people are talking.
Every time I talk, you try to control my mind with your hypnosis or whatever it is.
I've only done that twice, and both times to help you.
Oh, only twice, huh?
You can't tell me if you could do it, you wouldn't. I can teach it to you, actually, if you want.
I don't need more power.
You want less. And believe it or not, I know a guy who can take care of it. We've been, in the middle of the woods. Been kind of hard to find someone. But I have been looking. Contrary to what you think and what you believe, I almost quite literally gave up a finger to a witch in the Honey Lich town. Forever. I live for forever, and I almost permanently lost a finger. What if it was the middle one?
She doesn't laugh. She doesn't smile.
Damn, I thought that was funny. Listen, Lynn. I'm trying. You don't have a ton of control, and right now the only thing that prevents intense explosion, do you remember when a wall blew up in town? One of the only things that prevents that is that special thing that I keep on my person all the time. Once that intense power that you hate so much is gone, I will not make you stay. I will let you stay. I will not make you. And I will take you to any town that you want to go to, and I will leave you with an amount of money that will help you get started and settled. I know that you're pissed. I understand it. This is not the life that you wanted or that you ever thought you'd have. But it's not always shitty. I'm gonna reach into my bag, or in my pocket, and pull out the bracelet. It's made me think of you.
She'll turn and look at
In the middle
you.
of the night.
She turns
On
and
the
looks
night
at
that I
you.
met you, the sun was set, and it was pitch black, but I swear, the sky was still purple. A lot like this lapis. And one day, Lynn, your magic is gonna be out of you. And you'll have the choice to stay or to go. But I hope that if you go, every time you look at this lapis stone, you think of us. And hand it to her.
She's gonna take it in the palm of her hand and look at it. And then she looks out in the distance over the forest. And she grabs it in her hand. And she's gonna step up onto the edge of the parapets so that she is standing over 100-meter tall drop. And she's gonna look back at you and look out there. and she clenches the thing in her fist. And she says, "You say I don't have control?
Over
You
your
think
magic?
you think I don't have power like you do that I can control? I can control it. It talks to me in my sleep. I can do what I want. I don't answer to it. It answers to me."
Okay,
Then she turns and looks out at the forest while clutching the bracelet.
that's interesting. That's the first time you've told me that.
It tells me what I have to do to control it.
I thought that you didn't want to control it. I thought you wanted it gone.
I did want it gone. Until I realized. And then she steps right to the edge so that her toes are halfway off. With 100 meters of sheer drop below. You see little bits of gravel falling down from the edges of the rock as she looks down into the forest. And then she looks ahead. She says, "Then I realized I could use it to get rid of the kind of people that killed my parents." And she holds out her hand, just reaching out into oblivion over the forest. And she says, "Look." And she just casually waves her hand to the side, and Dagger Rock splits in half. Crack, topple, smash, with a huge, slow rising cloud of dust. Maybe 50 miles away, out on the horizon, there's just a huge dust cloud slowly rising over the forest. I can do what I want, and I can get rid of the people who cause the most harm in this world. And she turns around and looks you in the eyes and says, "And you're not going to stop me." She drops the bracelet to the ground at your feet and walks past you back towards the marketplace. And as the bracelet hits the ground, you look down at it, and it has little wisps of black smoke coming off of it, and you realize that the lapis stone that was set in the center of it is black dust now, slowly dissolving away, leaving only the silver bracelet behind. And she goes just casually walking back towards the marketplace.
I pick up the bracelet. Stick it in my pocket. And I'm gonna tailor.
Okay. Meanwhile, Ralgar, did you have to make any die rolls for the thing you were learning? Or did you do it already?
Nope. I just had to spend the quarter day doing it.
Go ahead and cash that in.
Done.
Vergello, you are going to stumble not on Velas and Lynn. You're going to stumble on this important dwarf in the middle of the rabble. The rabble draws your attention and you're going to go towards it, so you have an opportunity to interact with it or whatever if you want. You see Grunrock in the crowd, walking away from the center of the crowd, looking a little bit defeated.
I mean, I'll move towards the crowd, I guess, to
Okay.
get a better look.
Yeah, the crowd is a bunch of dwarves in disagreement. There's loud political arguing. There's people shoving each other. There's people arguing loudly. And you get a glimpse of the dark-haired dwarf in the center who's leading whatever this rabble is, who has apparently lost control of it. And she's shaking her head and talking to her guards, while the crowd around her loses her shit. And you catch passing mention of somebody saying, "Arvia is a mad heretic. We shouldn't be listening to her. We have to go home." Arvia is the same name that was mentioned to you in the past for that dwarven princess that was seeking the hammer. And you piece together that this dark-haired dwarf in the center of this rabble that Grunrock stumbled on may be Arvia.
I'll look at one of the dwarves that said that, like, she's a heretic. and say, so someone's seeking out a relic, is it? Was it a holy relic? Is a heretic now? What makes her a heretic?
Not a heretic, she's a fanatic. She's simply a fanatic. She doesn't engage with reality. She believes that we are called by the god Huge to reclaim our homeland and yada yada yada, but if we get involved in the affairs of the humans and going off fighting these foreign wars, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to be left of the dwarves if the same thing happens to us that happens to the humans during the demon flood and the Alder Wars? No, we won't be up there on the surface being consumed by some blood mist. We stay safe and sound in our cities, and we will follow our divine task of building up the earth to the very stars. That is our calling, that is our purpose, and to deviate from it is to welcome punishment and failure and catastrophe. Arvia is simply trying to lead us to ruin. That's all there is to it. She shouldn't even be here.
I see. So you think she's trying to find you a new tomb to lay in, and you're just trying to build a more extravagant tomb to die in?
A simpleton's explanation. Out of my way! And the dwarf shoves you backwards.
Get on me. It's your words, not mine.
Ralgar and... Grunrock and Vergello. You meet each other in the crowd.
Hey, Grunrock.
Oh, hey. Did you see the black-haired lady?
Off in the distance talking to some guards. I guess that's, what's her name? Avria? I'm bad with names.
Arvia is the name
Arvia?
that you picked up.
I know she didn't want to help me find Lynn. I asked her twice.
Well, I mean, if she is as important as it seems she is to get this crowd in such a tizzy, I imagine she even looked at you. I'm surprised that she even looked at you. I imagine she wouldn't normally do that in the first place.
A lot of them stop and look at me, actually. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Well, do you want to go see if she wants help looking for an artifact hidden in the shroud?
What does she have to do with the shroud?
Wasn't, I'm pretty sure... Oh, no. Sorry, I'm getting my myths mixed up again. She's looking for... No. She's the one trying to reclaim,
You know two things about her now. One, that she is a former member of the Chrome clan.
Okay. Yes, she's the one looking for Scran's Bane.
And that she's looking for Skarn's Bane.
Darn.
I guess three things. She's a member of the Chrome clan, which is a dwarf clan you don't know a ton about. She's looking for Skarn's Bane, which is a hammer that was used to defeat a legendary dragon in ancient times. And now you have learned that she's got beef with Zygofer, and that she wants to reclaim the fortress of Vond, which is now something you've heard name dropped 3 or 4 times. Apparently it's an ancient dwarven fortress that Zygofer took over. That's about as much as you know.
Would I, lore-wise, have any idea where such a fortress would be, or is it not, like, renowned enough to...
This has been lore rolled before, and you knew that it was
Okay.
far to the southwest.
Okay.
That's with everybody. I'm sorry.
Yep,
Far to the southwest, across the Harga Plains, and somewhere close to the fabled city of Alderstone. These are the tidbits you've picked up from previous lore rolls.
Grunrock, I think this is probably going to be our best opportunity to get more of a lead. Maybe even, like, some supplies to go treasure hunting. I mean, what else are we doing right now?
Finding the world-ending preteen?
Alright, what else are we doing outside of the immediate, like, look for the catastrophic character?
Lynn is going back to the inn where you're staying to go into her room alone, which means that Velas and Ralgar are going to cross paths as Ralgar is finishing his training. So Lynn is going to walk into the inn, storm into her room, and slam the door shut alone. And Velas and Ralgar, you are alone. Grunralk and Vergello, you are co-located out in the marketplace somewhere. So there's 2 pairs of you.
I want to walk up to Lady Arvia.
There's a boisterous crowd. You got to say something to catch her attention. What do you say? What's your hashtag that catches her attention? Because there's a lot of people shouting a lot of things at her.
Well, if there's
Hey,
no
gorgeous! I'd like to ask you about a hammer.
Does she look over?
She's just shaking her head at the crowd, and then she hears hammer, and she goes,
Yeah, we have some questions about your missing hammer.
"Missing hammer? Hang on!" And she steps down off of the little stone she's standing on. People are shouting things at each other, and she's like, "This way." And she takes Vergello and Grunrock off in a different direction. Let's pop back to Velas and Ralgar for a second. Ralgar, you've just finished your training, and Velas has walked. You saw Lynn storm into the inn and walk up the stairs and slam a door shut angrily. And when she does, sparks go flying off of the door. And then you see Velas come in about 30 seconds after her, looking a little bit dejected. And you've just finished training your skill training. Endurance. Nice one.
Oh, jeez. I see the little whelp is angry again. What happened?
I'm very, very concerned, Ralgar.
About what?
She's listening to the chaos inside of her.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's talking to her and teaching her how to use this magic. And do you know what she wants to do with this magic?
Yeah, she's gonna kill me.
Yeah, probably, man. Probably. So it might be best that she not see you right now. She's in a bit of a mood.
Do you want some poison?
Oh, man. I'm trying real hard not to kill her. I'm trying so hard.
Look, I'm just saying, if it comes down to me or her, you don't have to pick. I'll pick. It's me.
Buddy, just do me a favor. I know that Vergello and Grunrock are worried sick, and they're running all over town looking for her. And since she doesn't want to see you, I thought maybe you could double out and go track them down and let them know that she's back in the inn, but that she's gone a little sideways.
Yeah, I can find Grunrock in no time. He had one of those mushrooms from the forest, and I remember what it smelled like, so I'll just smell my way to that mushroom from the forest. Oh, okay. I'll see you later.
Wait. Instead of smelling your way to a specific mushroom, can't you just pick up the smell of a stinky hat?
No, all I remember is that mushroom thing.
Ralgar, I will punch you in the head. I swear to God, my morning has been stressful enough.
I'm gonna find him, okay? Okay, you go kill the girl, and I'll see you later. Bye.
I'm gonna just slowly slide down the wall across from her door and just kind of like put my head up, close my eyes, go, miracle, miracle, miracle.
That doesn't work, unfortunately. It's a good guess,
Maybe
but it
it's
doesn't work.
Nighttime in a mirror. Oh God. Oh God. Actually, I'll summon the dagger and be like, his kid was really bloody, and just slice my hand open and try it again. I'll do a point of damage to my strength. I don't know what.
You're cutting your hand and saying miracle, miracle, miracle.
Yep.
Is that what's happening here?
Yep.
Take a point of damage to your strength.
And learn your lesson.
And learn your lesson.
Probably.
It does not
What
work.
else to do?
Meanwhile, Vorgello and Grenralk, you've been pulled aside by Arvia, and she finds a quiet corner of the marketplace to take you into. And she pulls you aside and says, "What's this about a hammer?"
Your Skarn's Bane? That's the name of the hammer?
Her eyes open
it's
kind of
your
wide.
Hammer, or at least
Yeah.
you think it's
My hammer? Where is it? What?
Oh, I was we had it. We were looking.
You
for
have it?
Like
No, we ain't
it's
found it
It's
yet.
not like we have it. We're offering our services to find it.
Yeah, we know
You're-
you want it.
You want to reclaim the fortress?
How do you know? Who are you? How do you know so much about me?
I'm Vergello. Well, you just did a speech up there a second ago. You said your name, and it kind of paired with some other details that we picked up along our travels, and it was like, oh, this is the nice person from the Crom clan trying to find the thing that killed a dragon.
Nice person. Who told you that?
Besides, it's not every day you see a...
Well, the man did have his head in the clouds, so he probably wasn't very trustworthy.
Head in the... What are you on about?
Look, we want to help you find your hammer.
Thank you.
And I'm from the Shroud.
That's lovely. Do you have reason to believe you know where the hammer is?
Would it not be at the Fortress of Vaughn?
You believe it to be in Vond?
I have no idea where it's at. I figured you might have more interest. You've been looking for it a
You
long
seem to
time.
have far fewer answers than I was hoping when I walked over here to talk to you.
So
Listen,
you're saying you heard someone shout hammer and thought, you know what? These guys here are going to have all the answers I need.
Well, I'm looking for rumors, and you know what? I think you don't know anything of use, and I'm done with you. Thank you.
I guess you don't want help then.
Help with what?
Well, do you want help searching for rumors? It kind of seems like everyone's against you. Some calling you a heretic, some...
Not everyone is against me.
Alright, fine, not everyone, but clearly the crowd over there, you couldn't get, anything from them since you just rile them up. Maybe if you had, a couple people not as, overt as you, just asking random questions.
no offense, you kind of stick out.
I did not come here searching for the hammer. I came here to try to rally support for the retaking of the holdfast of Vond.
Yeah, Zygofer, we've met him. We've been through that chapter.
You've met him? What does that mean? Are you agents of his?
No!
Pretty sure he wants to kill us.
Where did you meet him?
The dragon! Doesn't
He
matter.
hatched a...
I
point
hatched the
is-
dragon first.
Now she's wide-eyed and eagerly shutting up and listening to try to wait for you to say more words.
The point is, if Zygofer's the problem, he already has beef with us. It kind of seems like we've chosen a side. And, well, there's no quaint way to put this. You fund us and we'll try to find the hammer.
And if you get the hammer, you probably will get a whole lot more support on getting people to join you in reclaiming the fortress.
You look like a woman of means, and we are men of action who have no connection to you.
You're mercenaries looking for work. You've heard I'm looking for the hammer, and you want to swear your swords to me in exchange for
Your Lordship, I'm
gold.
not swearing
Is that what's happening?
I'm not swearing my sword, but I
I
will
don't
look
think
for
she
the
meant
hammer.
that.
I'm not sure what you want from me then.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Zygofer has problems with us. You have problems with Zygofer. You want a hammer, and we want money.
And we just happen to be lucky at finding artifacts. We just sold Terramalda's sword.
Terramalda's sword?
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I mean, you could go talk to the...
She shrugs and turns around like, this is nonsense. There's no way.
This is the linchpin spike that was holding her armor together.
I have her gauntlets right here.
Oh, a tall tale, a tall tale. Let's see. She takes a look at the spike. She's like, this could be any old rusty spike. She takes a look at the gauntlets and she's like,
Scorched
okay.
from the inside.
Okay, these are pretty nicely crafted and they're scorched from the inside, but this is still nonsense. This is simply a waste of my time.
I'm starting to feel like you're being the waste of our time. Let's just go offer our services somewhere else, Grunrock. Let's go to the Shroud and try and see if we can find that Varamanian shroud.
You encountered Terra. What does Tarabalda look like?
I describe her with epic detail, including our battle.
Yeah,
Right here in the
like
Dankwood.
sulfur too.
Yeah, she's followed us. We've seen her like 3 or 4 times. Like, she has been on our ass for a
Fine, sure. You say you
heard
sold
your
off. You say you sold off this sword. Show me where you sold off this sword. Let's see the sword.
Okay.
Go.
I'll lead her to the smith.
Arvia of Chrome is going to follow you to the smithy in the middle of the marketplace until you find that blacksmith, and he says, Lady Arvia,
Yeah,
You-
that's the guy right there.
you grace me with your presence. And he kneels, and he pulls out the sword, and he says, this is the sword they sold me yesterday. And he holds it out to her, and she looks it over, and she picks it up, and she's turning it around in her hands. She's like, this has to be a forgery. And he says, my lady Arvia, I believe it to be the true blade of Taramalda herself. And she looks it over, and she says, this maker's mark can't possibly. And he says, I have studied the history of the maker's marks. I believe this to have been a blade forged in Alderland some 400 years ago. And she's like, nonsense. There's simply no way. And he says, Lady Arvia, watch. Then he steps back from her and he takes the sword and he holds it at the top, point end down, and he smacks it on the stone floor and flames shoot down it, and then go out again.
I didn't know it did that.
And she says, where did you get this? And he says, they sold it to us. And she turns to you and says, you acquired this.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could use some more mercenaries.
Now she's on board.
Price just went up, baby.
She says, and you say that in addition to, gonna go a few more minutes, by the way, wrapping some stuff up here. She says, in addition to finding the sword of Taramalda and claiming to have slain her, you say that you've met Zygofer?
Well, we met a man riding a lizard, and when he pulled his mask off, it was like a fiery zombie skull face.
Where?
Patchwork. Yeah.
Where was this?
Amber's Peak.
Amber's Peak.
A lizard riding sorcerer in Amber's Peak.
No, a sorcerer riding a lizard in Amber's Peak.
Yeah, distinct difference. The lizard was much bigger than the sorcerer.
You know so little of history, and she just goes stomping off.
Oh,
She says-
and there was a singing angel in the prison.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. That was not Zygofer.
Are you going to say it was Zertorm?
That was Zertorm.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think.
A lot of people. You know that outside this city right now, I have 16 Galdane raiders traveling in my employ who have sworn their blades to me in vengeance against the Archmage Zygofer. And many of them used to serve in the army of Zertorm, Zygofer's son.
I'm gonna try to get in front of her and pull out one of my drawings of Zygofer, Zertorm, and Zygofer's wife, and be like,
He looked a lot like this guy, and not a whole lot like this guy. At least what was left on his face.
He looked a lot like which guy?
I'm gonna point towards the dad, the older one, Zygofer.
Zygofer. Okay. And not a lot like who?
Not a lot like Zertorm, even though
Do you have art of Zertorm?
Yeah, we got art from the family home in,
Little kid Zertorm. You didn't.
Yeah.
You only saw Zertorm sans
From
face.
yeah,
You have no idea what
I
Zertorm
saw
looks like.
the coin
The coin is supposed to be Zygofer. She points at the picture, she points at the coin, she points at the image, and she says, Zygofer, Zygofer, Zygofer. This is Zygofer in the painting. This is Zygofer on the coin. This is Zygofer that you claim to have seen, but you have seen Zertorm. Zertorm is Zygofer's son. He fled Alderstone. His father is a demonic sorcerer. Zertorm fled him and swore to destroy his father, and many members of the Galdane clan who travel with me in my employ, who will not even set foot in this city, have sworn to destroy Zygofer. Zertorm is Zygofer's son. He is that little boy in your drawing. He wishes to destroy his father. He resents his father for the dark magic that he has engaged with, that has corrupted him, for the ambition that has driven him to darkness. But Zertorm rules in Amber's Peak, and Zertorm has become as corrupt as his father. He has sworn allegiance to demons in exchange for the power to overthrow his father for the crime of serving demons. Their entire lineage is corrupt. I will serve neither of them, and that is why 16 riders on their noble steed have sworn their blades to me. Because they have forsworn Zertorm, because they have known he has turned to corruption to oppose his father, and that he is no better than his father.
Yeah, they're both awful. We're fine with that.
I'm not saying one's great and one sucks. I'm saying I'm pretty sure we saw the dad.
You saw the dad in Amber's Peak.
I would bet my life on it.
The masked rider in Amber's Peak is the son.
Does the son know how to hatch dragons, or is that more of a dad thing?
Listen.
I don't know anything about that.
Dwarf lady, you're real important and all. But a woman I would die for told me it was the father. I'm gonna back her up.
Who?
Even so much so, all of this is it. I feel like we're getting away from our original topic. Do you want us to help you find this hammer? Clearly, we have credentials of at least finding.
Oh, I would love to find the Hammersgarden's Bane. Do you know where it is?
We will look for it for you.
Do you wish to swear your blades to me and join my company? I've 16 Galdane raiders serving me outside of these gates.
Galdane.
Let me guess, they won't send
no
one here.
Damn woman. You know what, Vergello? I'm done.
Yeah,
She
let's just
doesn't
find the
want
hammer
help.
ourselves.
I'm gonna go somewhere else. Maybe when you go to the Fortress of Bond, I'll be the one on top of it, taking a shit in your direction.
I believe you to be formidable raiders. You have slain Terramalda and retrieved her sword, as far as the evidence shows, and I would be happy to have you in my employ. I have 16 Galdane raiders in my service, and they agree with you that Zertorm is not to be trusted. If you have indeed been to Amber's Peak and have seen what you claim to have seen, I am sure that they would find common cause with you. But if you do not know where this hammer is, I would be glad to gain you into my employ, but I know not how to collaborate with you further than that if you don't know where the hammer is.
Well, I don't want to join your company. I don't want to spend time with Galdane riders. We have our own problems. We were just offering to poke around for a little money.
I guess if we find the hammer, you'll want to buy it off of us.
We'll sell it to you first. How about that?
Sure, I'll throw you some coin if you find the hammer. Thank you for your time. Then she goes stomping off with her mercenaries. Meanwhile, Velas and Ralgar, you're in the inn. Lynn has come stomping in. You're not.
No, I'm sniffing down that forest mushroom that I knew Grunralk had. It's how I'm gonna find him.
Okay. You're gonna now come up on them, but Velas, Lynn went into the inn and slammed her door shut.
He's trying to find the mushroom I gave to the mushroom woman.
If you're sniffing mushrooms, you'll find Grunrock off of that mushroom trail. Velas, you're in the inn. Lynn slammed the door shut in one of the inn rooms and is just in there. Do you want to do anything or go do your own thing?
Nah, I'm just sitting on the floor. Do these rooms have windows?
Yeah. Looking down onto the square below.
How high up were we?
Second floor.
It's not really a jump out of kind of window. I'm gonna sit with my back to her wall and I'm gonna just stay there and I'm listening intently on like her room.
Okay.
And I'm just sliding the bracelet around in my fingers.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's where I'll be.
Alright. Ralgar, you locate Grunralk, who is in a crowd alongside Vergello. You have an opportunity to sync up with each other.
Hey, back to the inn. Bomb problem.
Problem.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, we found. You referred to her as an inanimate object. I think that is hilarious. Okay, come on, we gotta go back to the inn.
You all make your way back to the inn. Everybody's in the inn.
Even Dahlia, who's drinking.
You're all in the inn. Dahlia is drinking a lot. She has 3 empty mugs of dwarven ale here. She's smiling and she's bobbing her head to a minstrel's song. Hey, you're back!
Yeah, we're back. There's maybe problems.
I'm just gonna go upstairs for
Okay.
Lynn.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up to where Velas is sitting.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide in a dark corner.
Okay. What do you do? She's closed in her room, so.
My hand is bleeding. Or, well, hopefully it stopped bleeding by now, but it's very bloody. The floor is bloody. And I'm going to tell them what happened and what I saw and what she did and that she's talking to Chaos. And I'm going to look at Vergello and say, I don't know what to do here. She needs an exorcism. And we've left the only person who could do an exorcism. But she probably is very capable of blowing up this whole goddamn city on purpose. I'm not convinced she couldn't float out of her bedroom window. I actually don't even know if she's in here.
I'll try and talk to her, I guess.
Okay.
Please be careful.
Lynn is in her room. She does not have the ability to lock her room.
I will knock and say, "Hey, Lynn, it's Vergello.
There's no answer.
Coming in, so I really hope you're dressed at the very least."
There's no answer.
I open the door slowly.
She's sitting in the room staring out the window into the market square below. She doesn't turn and look at you.
Hey, so all of the terrifying stuff aside, I actually got you this little moonstone necklace in the marketplace yesterday. I'm sorry it's not, like, worth a lot, but I thought the white might look good with your hair.
She doesn't turn and look at you. She says, "Why do you all keep buying me things?"
Well, you said you wanted some jewelry yesterday, and I mean, I felt bad that, like, you know, we're almost always traveling and have nothing but garbage. You don't really have, like, anything that yourself. I mean, you said jewelry yesterday. I mean, I could take it back and just give you the money equivalent if you just want to spend it on something.
Are you trying to buy me? And she turns and looks at you. Her eyes are flickering with Brimstone. There's sparks coming off of her eyes, and her eyes are swirling with like deep red fiery magic.
Well, not to knock my own gift here, but it's just tarnished silver and a moonstone. But I picked something that I thought you might like. I mean, it's not like, you know, worth mountains of gold. We are trying to build a home for all of us, you included, if you would want to, you know, join. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I know you're tired of being manipulated, and I can understand that. But obviously, none of us can force you to do anything, given what I was told. And I mean, if you wanted to leave, you could just leave. But while we are all in our own way just terrible people, we do want to get rid of that chaos if you still wanted to get rid of it.
She turns and looks at you and says, "Let me leave, then."
I won't stop you. I have no power to, but...
Will Velas stop me? Will Grunralk stop me?
I can
No.
only do... Well, I guess
She's
some...
in the hallway outside.
They might all be listening, but... I mean, I don't want... I mean, obviously, I couldn't do it in the first place, but... I don't want to, like, kill you or anything. And if that would be the only way that I could stop you, if I could even achieve such a thing, I wouldn't want to do it in the first place. You're a child, and troubled at that, and I don't want to you to get hurt anymore. Guys, I mean, if you're listening, if she wants to leave, we can't stop her. Probably shouldn't have stopped her this whole time, even though we were just trying to help. We probably have done more harm. We're not meant to take care of kids.
She says, "Get Velas and tell her you want me to leave, and get her to tell me that I can leave."
Does she have to tell you you could leave?
If I try to leave, she's going to follow me, she's going to hypnotize me, she's going to manipulate me, and she's going to lie to me. She won't let me leave. I need you to stop her if I'm going to be able to leave.
I mean, Velas, you want to come in here? You're muted.
I'm gonna stand up and walk slowly into the room.
Her eyes are smoldering with brimstone.
Finish for anyone else? Oh no, he's not visible.
This isn't a good idea.
I mean, we shouldn't hold on to her. We shouldn't have in the first place, but you know, we clearly can't stop her, and it's going to be the detriment to us and everyone else around us.
Don't do this, Lynn.
Don't do what? Why?
Because contrary to what you think, I'm trying to protect you.
From what?
And I know that you think that you have all of this power and all of this might, and you can just do whatever, and you can beat anything. But there are things more powerful than you and me combined.
There's not.
And
I will
there
destroy
is.
them, and then I will destroy what's inside me. Only once they're all gone. Only once magic and all of this dark sorcery is erased from the world, and nothing like what happened to my parents can happen again. Then I will turn and destroy what's inside me, and then I'll be done.
Don't you
That's not
think,
how it works, kid.
Lynn, don't you think if you go around doing that, you're going to make a lot of kids orphans simply because their parents use magic? You'll be creating more people just like you. who hate magic and hate the world because you using magic killed their family.
If their parents are using magic, their parents deserve to die. It's dangerous, they can't control it, and it's wrong. I've seen what it does. It's wrong.
And so you're going to do what's wrong?
I'm going to use magic to erase magic, and then I'm done.
Two wrongs don't make a right here, kid.
And you won't erase magic, unfortunately. It'll still be born in people after. It'll still exist. New kids will be born that have the magical talent. It'll always exist. It's the same as a sword. You wouldn't kill every man who wields a sword simply for one man who wielded it poorly and killed someone innocent. No.
Whoever wants to
kill
can
the
make a
perpetrator.
manipulation roll here.
I mean, I absolutely will. Do I get a +1 because Amy's here? Talking
Just
with
you.
me?
Yeah, I'd almost rather
Just
give him
you.
a +1. Well, I mean, I rolled.
Aimee
like a
doesn't
dice.
grant a
Like a-
+1 because her trust in Aimee is wrecked
Yeah, that's fair.
by all of the hypnotist attempts.
Jeez. When does pride take effect?
After
So
the
I roll
roll, if you
manipulation
fail.
as well, or is it just?
After you roll and
If you fail.
after you push.
Go ahead and make a manipulator roll, and you can apply your pride if the roll fails. Or you can push if the roll fails.
Is Vergello's the only one rolling?
Yeah.
It's just for Gello. You don't get to put any dice in because you lost your trust with your hypnotist abilities.
My attempts to save her life. Roger.
I'm just making sure I don't add anything
She
else.
knows you were messing with her head with magic.
Teenage girls. It's not magic.
Yeah, your semantics, Amy. Alright, yeah, I don't have any other things to add, so I'll just roll.
Go ahead and roll it. Three successes.
Is that enough?
Mm-hmm. Give me your pitch one more time.
Oh, jeez, Josh. I'm shivering because my window's open and stressed because there's a nuke in front of me. You want me to say everything again?
Restate your case. Because it's going to work this time.
Lynn, you don't want to just destroy every single person who wields magic. In the same sense, you wouldn't want to destroy every single person who's wielded a sword. Only people who actively use it to harm someone is what you would want to do. And if you want to destroy the chaos inside you, I can't stop you. In the same sense that I could stop you if you wanted to leave. But the thing that's caused you the most problem is what's inside of you. You can either use it to try and help people, or you can get rid of it. You can stay with us and do so, or you can go on your own accord and try and control it, but don't just harm innocent people because you're angry.
She says, I'm not going to harm anyone innocent. But if Velas tries to control my mind again, I'm going to turn her into a puddle of blood. Is that understood? And as long as you will promise me to try to get this magic out of me, I will travel with you.
I swear on my song and my guitar that I do not have on me, that I will do everything within my power to remove your curse. And I'll hand her necklace.
She'll take it in her hand and look at it, and she contemplates for a moment, and off in the distance you hear, and there's something going on. We're going to wrap in 5 minutes here. There's some ruckus going on outside, and she turns and looks at the window. Dahlia, holding her beer bottle, looks at the window and says, what's going on? It sounds like the dwarves are doing something.
I look out the window to see what the dwarves are doing.
There's a lot of people filing towards the catacombs. Just a parade of dwarves walking towards the catacombs like there's some event, and they're all queuing to get into it.
Is the festival today?
Nobody's asked.
Oh my goodness. guys want to go see what's going on? And I look at Lynn.
She's like, all right, let's go see the dwarves, whatever. And she walks alongside Vergello.
I hope they have some food.
Is there anybody that doesn't want to go? Whole party go? All right.
We go.
You coming, Puddle?
The dwarves are parading their way down to the catacombs. The catacombs are below the marketplace. They are spacious with high ceilings, much like the marketplace. They are beautifully lit by multicolored sconces all along the cave walls down into these catacombs. You descend down the marble stairs in this parade of dwarves, and you can see for 100 meters out into this vast cave that's lit with multicolored sconces. There are honor guards just wearing black armor with no gilding that almost fade into the dark corners of the cave, standing all around the perimeters. You can tell that the dwarves guard this area very fiercely. The entire vast cave is filled with multicolored torches and sarcophagi and graves, just hundreds, maybe a couple of thousand, just laid out in a vast grid with occasional monuments scattered through, probably of significant figures from history. And the dwarves are filing down en masse for some sort of ceremony. There's an open area, sort of resembling a square, in the center of this huge catacomb, and the dwarves are filing in. Many of them can't even get near the square. They're just within earshot. Does anyone want to push their way to the front to see things more clearly, aside from just being far in the back where you can hear speeches given?
Of course, I want to be in the front row.
Ralgar wants to be in the front row. Ralgar, you pushing your way to the front row? Anybody else pushing up? Or are you all kind of hanging back? All right. You make your way to the front row. It's just Ralgar. Everybody else is walled in by dwarves in a vast crowd, but you shove your way through, and you piss off about 30 dwarves while doing it. You're like, excuse me, and the dwarves are like,
wax them in their short little
You're just
face.
wagging your tail while fighting your way through the crowd. Everybody else is hanging back, Lynn included. She's standing on like the third step at the base of the huge marble staircase overlooking the catacombs so that she's raised up a little bit. But Ralgar goes disappearing off into the crowd and pushes his way up to the front. And Ralgar, you are shoving your way past dwarves. They're cursing at you the whole way, and you make your way to the front of the crowd, and you can see out into the clearing where the king, King Turek, is giving a speech in honor of the veneration of the earth. And he says, "Today's the day we gather to honor our pledge to build the earth as high as the earth." And then one of the dwarves down by the side of his platform whispers something in his ear, and you build the earth as high as the stars, as called to us by the gods themselves, the god huge who tasked us with building up the earth into the sky. The stone singers will now perform a ritual that will raise the mountain another fire. And one of them leans up and whispers something in his ear, and he goes, 7 inches into the sky, the entire mountain. Everyone hold on and prepare, and we will perform the ritual to Huge himself. Ralgar, across the clearing on the far side from the king, you're going to notice something, because the people around you are noticing and starting to point. There is a staircase that goes down about 15 feet into a little suppressed area that has a huge iron gate in it, intricately carved with huge, 6 layers of locks on top of it.
Yeah,
and
a lot down there.
a bunch of people are pointing. It's like a locked gate leading deeper than the catacombs, and a bunch of people are pointing in that direction. And when you notice the pointing, you look in that direction. The king doesn't seem to notice, and he is continuing on with his speech. We honor the ancient times when once the dwarves were the only... And he's just droning. And on the far side of the clearing, at that gate, you see what appears to be like a pale white substance sort of oozing through the cracks in the gates. Like the gates are like 15 feet tall, but through the cracks in the gates up to about a 4-foot height, you see sort of a white substance oozing through the cracks in the gates, and everybody is whispering and murmuring, and somebody murmurs, the Dwelvers are coming. It's a sacred event. The Dwelvers are coming. And you see that something is pressing its way through the cracks in the gates like an oozing slime, and slowly reforming into the form of a pale-skinned dwarf with with tattered cloth clothing. Presses its way through the cracks in the grate and the gaps between the gates and sort of reforms into the form of a pale, hunkered old dwarf, and then another one comes behind it until there are 2 of these pale, gelatinous dwarves standing in front of the gate, now looking like ordinary dwarves except pale and emaciated and wearing these tattered clothes. And the king drones on, and we will always, until the end of times, be seeking to reach that highest pinnacle where... And then one of them leans over and whispers something to the king. And the king goes, highest pinnacle... What? Dwelvers where? And the king, they rotate his platform so that he's facing towards the gate that these creatures have oozed their way through. And he says, oh, by the honor of the ancestors. And the king on his platform, who cannot stand up, seems to be trying his best to bow to these creatures that have oozed their way through the gate while sitting on his platform. And he says, you honor us with your presence, ancient ones, the precursors of our kind. They have come from the depths beneath Stonegarden, from the ancient tunnels, to petition us. Tell me, Dwelvers, why do you come on this most sacred of occasions? And these pale dwarves who just oozed through the gate will take a few steps forward and start chattering a message in a strange tongue that you don't understand. It's full of clicks and gurgles and moans, and it is very difficult to understand. And the guards are listening and nodding and listening and looking at each other and nodding like they're trying their best to interpret. And the king, sitting on his palanquin, says, you do not need to help. My years are old, but they are keen. I understand. Something in the darkness is breaking free, and you wish for our aid, is that correct? And the 2 pale dwarves look at each other and nod, and they look back at the king. And he says, well then, on this holiest of days, we shall honor our oaths and find someone who will aid in this task. And we'll end the session there.
Man, I can't wait for us to leave town and go find Marigold.
Listen, the woman that y'all were talking to earlier has 16 Goldane riders who have pledged her service.
Experience.
Oh, boy.
Did you participate in the session?
About it.
Travel through a hex? No. Discover a new adventure site? No. Defeat one or more monsters? No. Discover a treasure with a gold or more? No. Build a function on your stronghold? No. Activate your pride? No. Dark secret? No. Risk your life for another PC? No. Perform an extraordinary action of some kind.
Bill can have it.
Nominate Bill
Bill for what extraordinary
for
action?
his
Defusing the
incredible
bomb.
speech.
We're clipping the green
Defusing
wire.
the bomb.
Bill gets an XP. Everybody gets 1. Bill gets 2. We're going to pick up in the middle of this dwarven ceremony when apparently some significant shit is going down next time.
Yep, and we're gonna pack up our shit and we're gonna get out. We go up next.
Trust me, I know. Is everybody good for December 11th, tentatively? 2 weeks from tonight? Anybody have any issues with playing that day? Bill, I think you might be muted.
Sorry, tentatively yes.
Okay. Anybody have any objections?
Nope.
All right, we will play 2 weeks from tonight. We will pick up right here in Stonegarden where we left off in the middle of this situation. This Thursday, 3 nights from tonight, we're going to be playing with Craig, second session of our Blades in the Dark campaign. So tune in for that if you haven't. We have a new Discord that is a public Discord, so anybody can join. So check it out. It's posted in the about or description section on YouTube and Twitch both. So yeah, come chat with us if you want to hang out with the group. And yeah, we'll continue this 2 weeks from tonight. So have a good night, everybody.